Let's see what that one says. Go to hell or go to Texas. Oh, that's the famous quote. Yeah. Davy Crockett.
Hello, and welcome to Jason Cavness Experience. I'm your host, Jason Cavness. As a reminder, on April 17th at 2 p.m., I'll be talking at the Military Careers Conference on how to leverage your content for more and better opportunities. Our guest today is Nathan Kaiser. Nathan, thanks for being here today.
Hey, Jason, thanks so much for having me. Really excited.
So we have a lot of stuff to go through today. So first I want to start off with you and your family, y'all spend a lot of time like sailing, camping, outdoor activities. Can you just talk about a few of those things?
Yeah, when you've got three boys, the number one job is to run them. And, they're 15, 13, and 10. And as active as possible. But we also love the outdoors. We love just being out there in nature, whether it's on the water, hiking, or skiing. I'm probably going to out my wife on this one, but she's playing hooky with my middle kid and up skiing today on a school and work day.
I call that good parenting right there.
Well, do people going to know what day it is? Because otherwise it could be the work and the school could backtrack.
Yeah, but I think that's a good experience. I think you got to put your kids out and do different things with them sometimes, right?
Oh my God, yeah. Especially on a bluebird day like today. Snow's not that good in the Northwest this season, but they're having fun.
How often do you go sailing?
Not as much as I'd like. When I was an interesting person before opening a distillery and having three kids, my wife and I were racing 35-foot sailboats about 2 to 3 times a week, year round. And now I have 2 lasers, which are the 14-foot racing boats, and I take the boys out all summer.
And when you go camping, you go camping locally or like somewhere like totally random?
Wherever possible. Not last summer, the summer before last, my oldest and I did a 50-miler on the PCT. And then this summer, the 5 of us are all going on the Bow Runs trip, which is a canoe camping trip in the North Cascades in kind of northern British Columbia.
Any what was I looking for? Any bucket list camping trips you want to go to? The backwoods Australia or somewhere in Africa or
Well, I went to a seminar of a guy who did on his bucket list, he wanted to motorcycle around Africa and got kidnapped by the Taliban and spent 8 years as a prisoner. And I was like, well, I think I'm fine without that one.
Yeah.
But man, I'd love to go skiing in the Alps. You go hut to hut. Love to take the family doing that kind of stuff. And, just these one-off things are pretty special, right? Even we live in one of the best places to hike in North America with the PCT right at our back door. And we haven't even done close to all the PCT or in the Northwest.
Yeah, there's so much stuff to stay and watch. I haven't done either. I've been the Flattery. What's the thing? It's like the most northwestern point in the United States. They call it Flattery Point, Flattery Park.
Yes,
in Nia Bay or something like that. I've been there. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I've never been there. I've sailed off of that. We were doing a race from out of Victoria to Nia Bay, and then sail back. But I've never been to actual Nia Bay, sadly.
There's a place by our it's called Hoh's Hoh Trail Park or whatever. Supposedly, the quietest place on Earth.
You did not Hoh's Trailer Park. That's a whole thing.
No, different place. Yeah, different customer base there for sure. But HOH Rainforest Trailer is supposedly it's the most quietest place in our Earth.
Not if my family's there.
Yeah, but it's pretty quiet. It's so many amazing things to do here, right?
Oh, you've got the desert in eastern Washington, and we go over there a lot. You've got the mountains with the high alpine. You've got then all the timber and the rolling hills of the west side, as we think about it. And then you have the rainforest and Puget Sound in between. And Puget Sound is one of the best places to sail in North America. It's protected. You've got all this amazing harbors to go to and little towns to visit. Anyway, it's spectacular here. We live in paradise outside of the 9 months of gray.
Yeah, and thing with that, we always complain about the gray and the rain, but you really have gray for 9 months or fucking blizzard at minus 25 degrees and a plethora of tornadoes going through your city.
At month 8, baby, I'm thinking the tornadoes are looking pretty good. Especially as I get older, I was like, I'm cold all the time now. What's going on?
Speaking of cold, today's March 30th. It was like 30 degrees.
Now you're going to get my wife and my kid in trouble. Well done.
Yeah. Oh, so I forgot about that.
No, you're good. They're safe.
It's March 30th, 2024.
Yeah, this took a while to air.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like 35 degrees or something when I woke up this morning.
We had ice on stuff around us when we were walking the two younger kids
It's
to
supposed
school.
to be spring, yeah.
You know, I mean, we didn't have a winter, and now
No, we didn't.
we never did, right? It
No.
just was pathetic. And now the spring is like, meh.
Yeah, because I know like in DuPont, I've been like there since 2009. Every year in March, it snows like 4 or 5 inches, right?
Yeah.
This year we just had like a frosting, right? Like nothing really bad.
I think it's going to be a bad bug season in the Northwest, right?
Yeah.
We usually get a few freezes to kill it all off, but not this year, man. It's going to be, it's like going to be living in Florida with all the mosquitoes.
Yeah, don't get many mosquitoes. Maybe no poisonous snakes. That's another advantage of being up here.
Well, we do on the east side of
Yeah.
the mountains, little, rattlesnakes.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes like they need to divide still. What's like western half and eastern half, right? Because both halves like western mountain, eastern mountain.
Diametrically opposed.
Yeah, the politics are different. Everything's
yeah.
so different, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is fascinating. We get almost all of our grain from a farmer out of near Red Mountain, Zilla, Washington. And, it's just a different world, right? It's all irrigated off the Columbia. And then here we have rain galore all the time, right? It's green year round. And over there, it's brown and then green a little bit in the spring.
Another good thing about living here, like our water here is so good, right? I mean,
I don't know, man. That's like fighting words for New Yorkers,
Yeah.
right? And I used to live in New York, and that water is pretty good. I think the best part of the New York water, though.
so New York has good water?
Yeah.
I would never guess that.
Oh, it's some of the best in the world, but the best is because of the lead pipes at the last quarter mile. That's where you get that flavor. All that old piping. I used to live in an old tenement, and it was bad, but all good.
And how old are your boys again?
15, 13, and 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man. So is a 10-year-old spoiled?
No. I mean, his brothers would say so.
I'm pretty sure the 15, 13 will probably spend some time, whooping up on him sometimes.
Well, sometimes the youngest is the best fighter.
Yeah.
Because they need to be.
They have to be, yeah.
All of a sudden, the younger boys will get, a crock punch right in the nuts.
That's a good point.
And so he's learned to defend himself pretty well. And then the older boys are like, well, you punched me in the nuts. And they're like, you did have me pinned to the ground for 5 minutes. I had no other options,
Yeah, there's nothing like brother and sister love, right?
Oh, man. Like, I am a very blessed man. I've got a wonderful wife. 20-year anniversary last Wednesday, so that's great. Everybody says congratulations to me and condolences to her. And we've got 3 wonderful, engaging, respectful boys that are all doing well in school. I mean, it's awesome,
So totally random, right? So I don't really watch March Madness that much, but this coach won a game recently, and he did an interview, right? And he said this, I thought it was so funny, right? And so he was like, hey, I know I got a lot of criticism for not being a good recruiter. Well, I tell you this. If I'm not a good recruiter, how'd I get my wife?
Yeah.
And Panda wife's like a fucking supermodel, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
If I'm not a good recruiter, how'd I get this, right?
The only way I got my wife was her eyesight was really bad. That's probably a true story.
So how do you think you've been an entrepreneur? I'll put this. How do you think being an entrepreneur is been a good impact on your kids, right? So your boys see you like doing entrepreneur stuff. Do you think it's been a good thing for them? Bad thing? Makes any sense?
That's a really good question. I think that one, we're very forthright with the boys, right? Like entrepreneurship is brutal. It's not for the faint of heart. If people come and tell me they want to be an entrepreneur, I was like, grow the fuck up and get a job.
I always say don't.
Don't. It's
Don't.
dumb. It's so dumb. The best way to financial independence is going to work somewhere, right? And putting 10 to 20% of your check away in a stock market tracking fund.
Yeah.
I'm not an investment guy,
Yeah.
but that's what the numbers show. And like, don't be an entrepreneur because
Yeah.
it's going to be up and down and over and out. And but we're very honest with them. They're like, look, this is a good month. This is a bad month. And that level of honesty, I think, and trust that we impart to them has been wonderful. But then also, as an entrepreneur, you've got to deal with anything and everything that could happen tomorrow or the day after. And it's usually not on the radar. And you realize that with the stuff that happens with kids, whether they're in trouble at school or in trouble with each other, it's all passing. Deal with it directly and just get it over with.
How much of the bad stuff do you share with them?
Probably more than I should.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like I'm a good card player and can hold stuff close to the chest, But, when we're having good months, we celebrate that. And when we're having bad months, and that just is part of entrepreneurship. But I think more honesty is generally better. I think they're able to handle it more than we give them credit.
I do too. So talk about the name of your whiskey, 2 Bar. Talk about how that came about. What's the background on that?
Yeah, so I love that one. So the name 2 Bar comes from my family's ranch in South Texas. And it's been in the family for about 4 or 5 generations. My dad now has it with his sister, my aunt. And the cattle brand is a 2 classic bar. Like it looks like a 2-2-2-. And when we put that on the original design, nobody got what the bleep we were talking about. And so we changed it to 2 BAR. And so it's just an homage to that family heritage and history. I mean, I grew up and my grandmother is German. She didn't learn English until going to 1st grade, right? Like they were in a little German enclave down in South Texas. And she was a sharecropper in South Texas for almost her whole time as a child. Dirt floors, one room cabin. I mean, abject, absolute poverty, right? And her stories, I miss her dearly. She died at 99. Her name was Gladys Blanc Kaiser, but I called her grandmommy until the day she passed. And she goes, I always knew my dad loved me. They didn't show their emotions very much, being German. But I always knew Daddy loved me because when he finished his row of cotton, they were picking cotton. He would then finish Mom's cotton row and then come and help me, And my life, as like I've said, has been blessed. I've got wonderful parents, raised just general middle class. I don't know that kind of work, man.
Yeah.
I don't know that kind of hardship. I don't know that kind of poverty.
Yeah.
And then my grandfather, he was the one who was born on the ranch and essentially died on it. His dad died when he was 8 by a horse and he was bucked into a live oak while they were working capital at dusk. Died in his own bedroom, and he was there. And so I don't know shit, man, about hard work, but I can pay homage to that legacy and that family.
Great.
With this, and that's where the name 2 Bar comes from.
Okay. How far is Yoakum, Texas from like San Antonio?
2 hours.
2 hours.
It's about 2 hours 15 south of Austin.
Okay.
We're going there on Thursday.
One people don't realize, I guess they don't like, there's such a strong German heritage, especially like San Antonio, New Braunfels, Austin, Kerrville.
The names didn't give it away?
I mean, some people don't realize, right?
Fredericksburg?
Yeah, some people don't realize. Some people don't make the connection, right? But there's a very strong German connection in that area, right?
Very much so. Yeah. Big group of Poles as well. And the Texians as well, like the kind of the original settlers when Spain controlled it all. It's kind of a hodgepodge, but they all, came down there, and I don't know what they were thinking because the environment in Texas does not match Germany and Poland in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But they went down there and they thrived, and these are wonderful communities, amazing barbecue, and just really hard workers and just great people all around.
One thing I love about it, like especially in the spring, summer, every town, New Braunfels, San Marcos, Kerrville, every town has like some kind of spring festival every weekend, right?
Yeah, Yoakum has Tom Tom, the tomato festival. Okay. And I was like, we didn't have anything else, but hey, whatever,
There's always something going on.
They also have the leather festival, but I don't know if they talk about that in polite society too much.
So the ranch is still active ranch now, still do cattle, all kind of stuff, like still money-making operation, so to speak?
I don't think anybody makes money. Well, it's out for lately when beef prices have gone so high.
Attempting to make money anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I think my grandfather, had it, and I think he made it work. But he also was an electrician in the East Texas oil fields. And my grandmother was an executive assistant with TxDOT, right? Like the Department of Transportation down there. And then they ranched and then they had day jobs, right?
Okay.
But the ranch was their passion, and was what they love. I mean, the homestead on there is just beautiful. If I can, one quick story. I was working a rebuilding fence with my grandfather, and this guy drove up, and it's about a half mile from the road named Kaiser Adams, and it's after my family and the Adams family that had a property down the way. And the road to the homestead is about a half mile, and it's up a long hill, and the hill has a 360-degree view of the rolling hills with live oaks. I mean, it's quite gorgeous. And the guy goes, "How much do you want for it?" And my grandfather goes, "Excuse me?" This guy had driven up randomly. And he goes, "This is the prettiest place in this part of the country. I'll buy it from you. Just name your price." And I'd never heard my grandfather curse. And he goes, "Can I curse on?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Get the fuck out of here." And just pointed his arm. And then the guy was like, totally turned off and like was like, "My bad. I'm sorry." And then turned around and drove away. And my grandfather was like, "I'm never selling this place."
Man, they should have done this fucking research first, you know.
You know,
Look some like went to the county courthouse, looked at some titles and shit. Oh, they've had this is way back in the day. They ain't selling shit.
I mean, dude, it's, like I have a lot of sentimental value down there to that place, to the family down there. But I even had Texas soil from the ranch.
You told me that, yeah.
Shipped up and underneath the birthing table for our three boys
Like
who were born up here.
Like a true Texan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a, what do I call it? I'm kind of a walking wannabe Texan, I love my Texas roots, and I love that my boys are born over Texas soil, and I regain my accent whenever I'm back in country, as I call it. But I also love being in the Northwest, right? I mean, you don't have what we have up here anywhere else.
Yeah. So how big is the ranch?
It's 420 acres now, and it's down from 1,600 acres about a generation or two ago. When my great-grandfather died, it was then separated into 4 different partitions, and it was even smaller from that, right? Like these things get smaller and smaller as family generations happen, and they get broken up. And they're very expensive to buy to put back into a larger contiguous piece.
And do y'all like lease land out? Let people do deer hunting on your land or anything like that? I know a lot of ranchers do in Texas.
No, but I think my family will hunt on it. Mm-hmm. That's one thing I've never done but want to get into is the hunting with all my free time.
Yeah.
I'd love to bag a deer. But being an out-of-state resident, it's also very expensive.
Yeah.
To get the statewide tag.
How often do you and your family go to the ranch?
As much as I can, and as little as my wife will let me.
Yeah.
She likes the ranch, but she's not quite
not a cup of tea, so to speak.
And not as enamored with it as I. The boys and I will go around and just shoot stuff.
Yeah, my thing, just like the country living for your boys, right?
Oh my God,
that's the country. I mean, I don't care if you do up in New York City. Everyone should spend at least 1 year in the country, right? Maybe not. Maybe a summer, like sometime in the country, like doing country living.
Well, Jason, to be honest, I don't think I can do the summer down there anymore. I'm an acclimated Seattleite now.
Maybe November, December.
So hot.
What's it saying? Hell is hot, but Texas is a whole lot fucking hotter.
Hell is hot, but I don't know the rest of it, but Texas, it doesn't hold a candle to Texas. I mean, it's like hot and humid. And, when I was growing up and I'd spend my summers down there, it was like 117, 118 with like 99% humidity. Yeah. And then, you're drinking out of that well water, out of the black, dark hose. And you're like, man, that's just so good. It was like 78 degrees, but it was cool comparison.
I know, right? Yeah, it's amazing. Like, we grew up as a kid. Like, you play outside all day in the summertime sun. Now, like,
I can't do it.
No.
I can't do it. Now, if it's like 70 degrees and I'm like, whew, it's getting hot out here,
I know.
That's Seattle, man. It's making us weak. Because it's so temperate.
I know in Seattle, it gets to 90 degrees, people start dying here.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had a buddy tell me a story. He was coaching soccer, and it got up to 72, and he had the kids running laps, and one of the moms pulled the kid off the field and took him home because it was too hot to run. Yeah. And I was like, "You're serious? That happened?" He goes, "Dude, it was last week." And not last. I mean, this story happened a while ago, but and I was like, "Man, that's just not good. That's not hot." When they're practicing football down there in all the gear and the
in August.
Yeah. Oh God. I just hurt for them.
I mean, August, like in Odessa, Texas, Houston, like wherever, like it's August 10th, 2 in the afternoon. You doing Oklahoma drills.
Dude, and Houston, that's a place all on its own. I mean, it has like humidity on top of humidity. And I grew up in Houston and went to, oh my gosh. Anyway, one of the elementary schools there. And I remember we were playing in the, like right before school got out or school got in. And I was like, this is hell.
So talk some about your family's history during Prohibition. They did some moonshining and some stuff like that.
All right. So there are rumors
okay.
that they moonshine.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And,
but it makes a great story though, right?
It makes a fantastic story. And it's really fun to think about. But there's definitely rumors about it. And I don't think they're unfounded. But I do love the story. I'm not going to name any names in the industry, but anybody who says they found a recipe in a family's credenza or in a bottom drawer of grandmommy's, trunk or whatever is full of shit, right? Nobody wrote anything down back then. So I've looked it up, done some research on it. And if you're trying to survive during Prohibition and you're moonshining, right, you're not standing by an organic virgin grown grain that, right, you're doing whatever you can make or whatever you can find at that moment in time to make a little bit of the juice to keep the family fed, right? Nobody was writing down recipes. And if they did, they usually got caught by the revenuers and put in jail and didn't have a chance to have kids, right? Like it was. So anyway, we talk about that, the history of the family with the hints of the moonshining and whatnot during Prohibition. But 2-bar is a thing that I created in Washington. I would have loved to have a family recipe, but again, that's all bollocks.
So you started 2-bar in 2010, right?
Started in 2010, but I opened in 2012. So we're going on, it'll be 14 years here soon.
So 2010, you're actually doing research, figuring out if you really want to do this.
Okay, so my wife's going to hate this story. So I was doing some stuff illegally in my basement around making clarified products, right? And just for fun, the classic shits and giggles. And I was working in tech, and we just had our first son. And I said, hey, honey, I think I want to, she just came home, she was breastfeeding, and I walked into the room, and I was like, honey, I think I want to open a distillery. And she goes, yeah, you should do that. And I left the room immediately and incorporated in the great state of Washington and started all the paperwork for the trademark, the name of the business, the EIN, and I was off to the races and then opened 2 years later. So she kind of regrets that decision all these years hence, but she knows who she married.
So this was on LinkedIn, right? So some guy named Andrew Barr put as a recommendation. I first met Nathan while I was doing research for his distillery. I'm happy to say that despite my discouragement, he persisted and did everything to be successful, basically, right?
Yeah. So there's an interesting thing in the Northwest where everybody wants to tell you, no one wants to give you the hard information, right? And the hard information is don't do this. It's really dumb. It's really hard. You're going up against these billion-dollar companies who make good whiskey, right? Like, in beer, craft brewing blew up because it's not like big beer was that good, right? To be honest, no offense, all big beer makers out there, but in spirits, they know what they're doing. They make really good products, right? We all drink them every day. You have a few of their great products on the table here, and 2 people gave me the best advice. One, Andrew Borer was like, "Do not do this. It's really dumb." Another was a buddy, a longtime friend, Devlin McGill. And Devlin McGill is like, "Are you an idiot? What are you fucking doing? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard." And I was like, you know what? You're not wrong.
You're like, challenge accepted.
But here's the thing. Without that kind of advice and feedback, you're going in blind.
Yeah.
Right? When I opened the business, I was so dumb. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know that Washington was a control state. I didn't know what the difference between an open state was. I didn't know how distribution might look. I didn't even know what FOB stood for, right? Freight on board. I didn't know jack at all. And I started with no money. And I had a guy, okay, so I can't name any names on this one, Jason, but this guy came in and he started his distillery with dad's money for $60 million, right? He ended up selling the distillery for $15 million, so probably the wrong direction, right? And he came in, he's dressed to the nines, and mine was bare bones. I had a 200-gallon bulk milk tank from Oomer's Dairy, like a trough, with a wooden paddle for mixing the grain. We had a was like a horse trough with a sump pump in it going to a radiator with a fan zip tied to it as our cooling system. And the spirit still was a stainless steel, like kind of a oil drum with 2 3-inch copper pipes coming off of it. And it collected like this drop, right? And this other guy came in and he had a beautiful distillery. He spent more on they had a little room that was a positive pressure room where they had organic grout in the tile as to not affect the flavor profile of the whiskey. This is where they tasted their products, right? He spent more on this room than I did my entire distillery. And he looked at me, having seen my just god-awful setup, right? And we were running 22 hours a day, 7 days a week, just to make any product. And he goes, "You are so fucked." And I was like, "You're not wrong." And now he's no longer anywhere near the business, and I'm still here making it. And but that's also a testament to pure stupidity on my part, right? Like, you don't do this stuff if you know how hard it's going to be, right? And then the ego gets in play, and you're like, "I'm not going to fail."
But I don't know the stats, but I think it's like when people have money to spend or blow, they tend to fail faster than people that kind of like, bootstrap and like tight,
Well, they fail bigger.
Yeah.
You mean there's a lot of data, right, that says an entrepreneur who starts in a downturn does better.
Yeah, yeah.
And an entrepreneur who starts with cash constraints generally does better.
Yeah.
And that's simply because you have to make the hard decisions as to where you put your capital. Because where that money goes is everything, especially in whiskey, where you have to lay down, we're laying down our whiskey for 4+ years. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money laid up in liquid assets.
I mean, it happens all the time in tech. Some tech company will raise $100 million A round, and next thing you know, they're buying fucking, gold-plated name plates for everyone. Everyone's flying first class and blah, blah, blah. Private jet, and they're paying everyone 6 figures. The next thing you know, you remember that company Convoy?
I do. I have a friend who was a co-founder.
Were you? Oh, wow, okay. Like, they out of nowhere, like, what? How the fuck they fail, right?
Yeah. Well,
and there's so many stories like that.
I don't have any insider information on Convoy, but they started with a lot of money, and they also went after. I mean, every industry is difficult, but they're going after trucking.
Yeah,
people still send faxes in trucking, right? And it's like all paperwork, and that they went after a big one, and I applaud them for doing it. But I wonder if they'd had less capital. Who knows? But anyway, my buddy there's a good guy, and I know he fucking worked his ass off to try to make that work.
And there's another company, I can't remember the name of it, right? But it was like basically the company was named like kind of like Tubi, but basically they raised like $500 million, and what they did, they made like 10-minute videos, right? And they like shut down in 6 months.
Oh yeah, I used to be in tech.
Yeah, that Anna Kendrick on there, big names, and
it's really easy to raise capital when it's just an idea.
Yeah.
It's harder to raise capital when you have a real P&L and a balance sheet, and maybe that's not going in the right direction, right? But raise a lot of capital if you can, and then spend it wisely. However, if you raise a lot of capital, it doesn't make sense to spend it wisely.
Yeah.
You're going for the home run. You're going for Babe Ruth calling that home run, right? They don't want to make a little bit of money on their capital invested. No. And they will accept a big fail. Yeah. I didn't have that. So I had to make hard decisions, right? Like we don't have much merchandise. We still don't have much merchandise, right? And I thought being in Seattle, we'd have people walking out lining up out the door every morning. We're in Soto. Nobody comes to Soto, right? It's a great area, but people go to the stadiums and they go home from the stadiums, or they go to work and leave. And so I had to pivot personally to be like, okay, we've got to be in retail, and we got to be in bars and restaurants, and go distribution model, right? But not having money means we had to make those hard decisions and make them quickly.
So have you heard of a place called Smokey Joe's Cigar Lounge in Five?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Sony is one of our distillers.
They had like 2 of your bottles there.
Yeah.
I think I took a picture one time I sent you.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
Yeah.
She's now a part owner. Actually, we have 2 employees. It's Maddie Kelly and Sony Watson, and they're the main production crew. Now they're also part owners. And Sony loves her cigar lounges around the country.
Yeah, that's a great place. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good thing. Like talk about having an all female production team, right? 'Cause I think most people that think of like bourbons and distillery spirits, like thinking that's a bunch of guys, right? Talk about how they came about. You have like
Traditionally,
all
it's more kind of guy bro-ish.
Yeah.
I have had a lot of employees, both at previous companies and at Two Bar, and I don't give a flying anything what your gender, right? Maybe I'm need to be more mindful of that. I don't know, but Maddie cold called one day in an email. She's like, "I want to learn how to distill," and I said, "Come on down." And she thought it was an interview, and I just gave her a shovel and had her shovel out the mash tun.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward a month, and she's running the tasting room. Fast forward about 6 months, and she's running the entire place, right? And then I guess what was it? She's been now with me for 12 years, 13 years. And I year 5, I was like, I never even saw your resume. Mm-hmm. And she goes, "Well, I have a chemistry degree." And I was like, "Oh, all right, that's pretty cool." And then Sony came through of a friend, actually, yeah, pretty much. And then never left. And, you find the right people who have the right vision and the right love for what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And, everything else is great. I always said you could train anybody, but you can't give them the vision and you can't, the earnest, right, to do what they're doing.
So when you started this, were you like, okay, I'm going to compete with Jack Daniels. I'm going to be better than, this company.
Were you not listening? I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
I mean, but you had to have some kind of at least idea, right? Like maybe you tasted Jack Daniels, Jimmy, man, this is fucking crap. I can do better than this.
I wish it was that beautiful, man, or that simple. No, I just I love the name. I love bourbon, and I wanted to make something again, right? I started my career at a medical device company, and I love the fact that we had material products that we made, and this fit all of those goals, and I love the space, right? But I wasn't testing other people's stuff, because it's all good, right? It's not like Jack Daniels is not my...
Yeah, I mean, some of it is trash,
Well, for sure. But
there's a lot of good bourbon out there.
But Heaven Hill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Heaven Hill makes some of the best freaking bourbon in the world, right? But what I wanted to do was make something different. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna get a little bit into the product a little bit, and so our bourbon is 60% corn, 6% wheat, and 34% malted barley, and that provides a lot of flavor.
So, quick
and
question,
body. Yeah.
How did you come up with that? Was it a bunch of experimentation? Like one time it was 80% corn, 10% this.
You don't have that chance, man.
No.
Okay. I mean, when you're making it and you mash it one day, you ferment it and we do a really long fermentation, like 7 days, 8 days, and then you distill it, and then you have to age it 4 years.
Okay, so there's no experimentation.
That iteration. So what we did was a lot of research.
Okay.
And then what we did is
I'm guessing that ladies
about 25,000 Hail Marys, or was it the rosary?
Yeah, rosaries. I'm guessing that ladies' chemistry degree helped out with that some, I would say.
They did. And we also had a different head distiller at the time, Gabe Newton, who's a genius. And he really was kind of the forefront on that mash bill and stuff. And he's still a longtime friend of mine. But it was all of us kind of working together. But he led that mash bill. I told him that we wanted something unique, something different, something that could stand on its own. And I don't think there's another whiskey out there that's quite like what we do, which is both good and bad. Good because it's different, bad because it's different.
And you only have the 3 employees, you and the 2 ladies, right?
That's right.
So how in the world do you pull out producing whiskey, all the stuff involved with 3 people? Like you have some AI robot somewhere. You got your 3 kids working for free,
Can't answer that. One, we do one thing, right? Every day we make the same mash bill, and it's like we make the same whiskey. We play every once in a while. We'll make something different, like a rye or a single malt, what have you. But every day we make the same whiskey, and then what we do is towards the end of the aging process, we finish it in the 4 different ways, right? The 80 proof, which is our flagship, the bottled in bond, which was our first product, even though it wasn't a bottled in bond at the time, and then the amaretto barrel finished and a wine barrel. And that, we are super specialized. My joke is that the ladies are highly super intelligent. I'm a bit of an idiot, right? And that's why we do one thing so I can understand what we're doing. But one thing, you're fucking got a pot commit, right? Two, if you do one thing, you kind of learn how to do it pretty well, right? But if we were doing vodkas and gins, single malts and rye all the time, who are you? Who are you to anybody?
Yeah.
You can't be everything to everybody.
You can't be a jack of all trades, right?
You can't. There's almost no business is really that successful doing that, right? The few ones, right? But even Tito's what do they make? Yeah, one vodka.
Yeah.
Here's a fun story. Do you know how long Tito's has been around?
It's been a while, yeah. People think it's overnight success. It's not overnight.
That guy, I believe, he started it in 1988, and he was out there grinding for 20-ish years. 88, well, yeah, 25, 26 years before he hit it big in the 2014, 2015 is when they started really to blow up.
Yeah.
And they make vodka. Right, and I'm not saying vodka in the negative sense, but they just do one thing. And I'm not the next Tito's, right? Don't get me wrong, but focus.
So, what is bottled and bond?
Oh yeah, I love that one. So as long as it's bourbon, right, made in the United States, majority corn, distilled below 160 proof, and barreled below or at 125 proof in a new charred oak barrel, that's bourbon, right? Bottled and bond is aged 4 years, made in the same distillery, in the same calendar year, by the same distiller, and bottled at 100 proof. So this bourbon was always, the one we're drinking now in the old fashions, was our first and only SKU. For 9 years, I had one SKU, the 100 proof bourbon. It started as 9 months old in a 375 milliliter bottle or a pint sized bottle, and then we got it to 10 months, and then we went back to 8.5 months, and quarter sized barrels, and then over time though we got it to 4 years minimum old in a full size barrels, and that was in about 2020, and that's when we renamed it as Bottle and Bond, and I do believe it's the only commercially available Bottle and Bond bourbon made in the Northwest.
So you talked about some a little bit earlier, but a lot of people, I think, when they start a bourbon business or drink beer, whatever restaurant, they're like, okay, I'm gonna make a great bourbon or a great restaurant, but there's the other thing that fucks them up, right? Like it might be, like you said earlier, these corks are expensive now, the glass is expensive. Like, like how do you figure out the price to ship stuff right? What's something that kind of fucked you up at the beginning? Like, man,
All of it. I mean, yeah.
Like I was expecting this, like, whoa.
Well, first and foremost, it was, oh my God, this production equipment is not going to get us to where we need to be, right? The original setup. And then it was like, okay, now I need to really scale and buy real equipment. And then it's like, okay, my corn supplier ran out of corn. I can't do much without corn, right? And then in COVID, nobody had bottles. So like, I'm not really a bourbon distillery if I can only keep it in barrels. Like the world doesn't buy it in barrels, and then we've had some tariffs hit different bottles. We were like try to get suppliers and everything, and I think not just me, but most entrepreneurs were a little bit like Neo in the Matrix, learning to dodge the bullets, right? Because they're coming all the time.
So I know you buy all your your ingredients from like state of Washington.
Pretty much, yeah.
But how do you decide who to buy it from?
I mean, that's all relationship driven. So the corn we use is pretty standard corn. And then it comes down to the relationships, right? We really like buying from W.S. Winkler Farms in Zillah, Washington. But if there's a chance that he's out, we also have a fallback, like Epic Greens and others. But I like working with really fun and cool people. I think I've heard this a lot in the recent past. It's like we have a no assholes policy, right? You may give me a great price, but if I can't trust you or if you're an asshole, then I'm not doing it. It's not worth it.
So how do you go about it, as far as checking the quality of the corn that how does that work? Or you just, okay, I've done business with them for so long, I'm going to just trust them?
Yeah, I mean, it has to, because we won't continue to buy from them, right? And most people are trying to do their best as well, right? Sometimes mistakes are made. we had corn accidentally shipped over on a flatbed, and I don't know if you know, but it rains a lot in the Northwest, and the corn got wet on the outside and molded up, and we had to, chuck it out. Well, we don't chuck it out. We give it to a farmer who feeds it to their dairy cows. But, these things happen, man, and we just worked with the farmer and said, hey, we can't take that corn, and, it was a lot of money to him, and I think we ended up splitting it or something.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah, that's a good way to do business, yeah.
It's the long game.
Yeah.
And, when you're making whiskey, you realize that the long game is the only real game in town, right? Whether it's a sales process or the making process or the partnerships you work with, So
we talked earlier about your product being the Smoky Joe's. Like, how does it go about? How do you decide which stores to sell it into? Are they reaching out to you, or are you going like to Trader Joe's, different places like Bevmo?
Yeah.
Hey, buy my shit.
I just have a line of people who want to buy it. It's up and down 4th Avenue, almost down to Boeing Field, I mean, it's like, it's a lot of just grinding and building relationships. Like Trader Joe's has been a wonderful partner of ours for years. And our flagship 80 proof is available there, really affordable. But then PCC has been an amazing customer. Bevmo, we were in all the Whole Foods until some online bookstore bought them. But don't worry, I'm not bitter. And we were doing really well. Amazon had to have their say. It's all good, right? But that's the other thing you realize is you win some and you lose some. And again, we're playing for the long game, so no hard feelings, and people make the decisions they need to make for the time, and we'll always be here.
So how do you go about like balancing like the things you can't control versus things you can control?
I drink a lot. No, I looked right in the camera like guilty. Guilty is charged. I don't know. You just got to let it roll off your shoulders, right? You can't overreact. If you were to overreact, your life would be miserable, right? I mean, I tell my boys that my theme song is, what is it, Frank Sinatra?
Do It Your Way or something like that?
No, it's more
Number
like
one.
Riding High in April, that's life. Riding High in April, shut down in May, that's life, right? And I get back up off my face and get back, I can't think we're shit, in the race, because that's it, man. I mean, when you were in the Army, right, it's like, that was the job, right?
Get knocked down 10, get up to 11th, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's the only option. I think, and this is a little too silly meta, but that's life, man.
It is.
And so many people have had it harder. And
Oh, yeah.
like, I just count my blessings every morning. And my wife and I will drink our coffee in the morning before the boys are up. And we'll just, hopefully most mornings, not all mornings, but we'll drink our coffee and you just have so much gratitude for our relationship, for our family, and for where we live, and for what we do, right? And that's, I think that's how you deal when you get slapped in the face or punched in the gut.
So what's like a bucket list store you're not in yet you want to be in?
All of them. Well, I mean, all joking aside, I realized you have to, like, we don't have a big marketing budget, right? So I realized we need to be where the consumer is and where it's easy for the consumer to get us, right? The average customer doesn't have time to drive by and drop by Soto and pick up a bottle. But they do have time if they're at, and we're in most grocery stores in the Northwest, and we're in about 20 states around the country, right? So we have pretty strong distribution for a small team. But you need to be where people are so they can grab it. And you need to be affordable, right? Like our flagship is like between 24 and $25 at QFC and Trader Joe's. That's a 4-year fucking bourbon made all locally from all Northwest grains that's really affordable. We do well on it, our partners do well on it, and the customers do well. So you got to be where they are, and you got to be affordable.
So something off the subject. Actually, kind of on the subject, right? So I found this in LinkedIn too, right? Supposedly, I'm reading this off. An interstellar comet packed with alcohol was found in the 3-1 Atlas. Suppose this 3-1 Atlas thing found molecules in it with alcohol molecules.
Oh, 3-1 Atlas. Yes.
Yeah.
The interstellar
had like molecules of alcohol in it. Like, yeah, that's.
I know. I thought about flying out there and getting some.
That's fucking. Can you imagine making bourbon off of that? The price you could charge.
Yes. I actually thought about that.
I thought that was so amazing.
And I reached out to two of the North American rocket entrepreneurs, Bezos and Musk, about putting a barrel into space. I'm still waiting on a response. I thought that'd be pretty cool if we could put one of our barrels onto one of their rockets and send it around in the stratosphere, not stratosphere, but in the outer space for a little bit. Maybe their emails got in my spam folder or something, but haven't heard anything back.
So another thing you started doing recently is like you started reselling your barrels.
Yeah, well, we've always done that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I always thought once it was done, you just like kind of threw it away or something like.
Oh, waste not, want not.
Maybe not
sir.
throw it away, but maybe like put your own bourbon back in it or something, or.
Yeah, so bourbon is crazy in that it's a single-use barrel, right? If I put new make whiskey in a used barrel, that's corn whiskey. And do you know the market for corn whiskey? Not very high. Well, mellow corn is a corn whiskey, right? And that's just flying off the shelves. And it's because that first use of that barrel gives so much flavor and color. Like, I mean, look at the color on that. And that's a 4-year whiskey, right? I think. I won't say the name, but you can see it. Like, look at the color. And it's like, yeah. So that new barrel gives so much color and flavor, and is really the secret sauce afterwards now. So we work with a lot of breweries. We work with a lot of other distilleries, and maybe a winery or two to sell our barrels so they can do stuff with it.
And what are the barrels made of? The same wood all the time? Or is the wood change?
Dude, I'm the most boring guy okay?
So one and done.
I make bourbon, and I use new charred oak bourbon barrels.
Okay.
Like, we don't deviate from the true and one path. No.
But how did you come up with that in the first place?
Why
that one?
The barrels?
Yeah.
Well, that was fortuitous, right? So when I was starting, I was like, oh, shit, I got to buy barrels. I mean, Jason, like, I should write a book about how not to be an entrepreneur, right? I never did a business plan. I was like, well, buy corn, make bourbon, sell bourbon. What else is there? Turns out it's pretty goddamn complex. And I've succeeded almost in spite of my own stupidity, right? But all joking aside, I grind, right? I grind hard. I build long-term relationships with people, and I learn quickly. I've made many, many mistakes on this path, but none have been obviously career-ending, and none have been too expensive.
Talk about the points that, like, as an entrepreneur, like, going out there, like you said, grinding, right? Like experimenting, learning from mistakes, doing it over and over and over again. Like, some people like, oh, I started a business Monday. I don't have $1 million on Tuesday. Let me fucking quit, right?
Right. Yeah.
Of course, that's like a generalization, but.
So my joke is I attempted to date a lot in high school and college and got used to rejection early, right? But there's some truth in that, right? Like, that's one of the things I talk to my boys about is, like, rejection is almost as important as winning.
It builds up that muscle.
Because who the fuck cares if someone says, I don't want to buy your bourbon right now, right? Like, rejection builds character, and it makes you stronger. It makes you ask what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And I mean, in the early days, I was going, you need a,
Yeah.
here.
Thanks.
I'm going door to door, and these people, whether they're running a bar or an independent store, they don't know who the fuck I am, and they certainly don't care, nor should they. But I kept going in, pretty tenacious about it. I was like, "You said no today,
Yeah.
maybe not tomorrow."
You didn't say no forever.
That's right, and some did, and that's okay. But without going for it, like, life is so short, and you were asking about your bucket list for, travel or camping and all that jazz. My bucket list is like, I want to build this thing. And I also want to build my family. Like, we have an amazing relationships, and everybody's doing well. But, like, I fucking want to build it. And my goal in life is to build it, right? And if yeah, that's it, man. And I'm willing to take no, and I'm willing to get laughed at. I've been laughed at. I've been heckled, and you go. I went into, I won't say the bar's name, but I was in a bar in San Francisco downtown, and I was, what's the word? I was wet under the collar. What is that the right term?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So I was a novice, right? And this lady, man, fucking laid into me. What the fuck? Why should I? What is this shit you're making? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, you know what? Thanks for the feedback. Mm-hmm. I went back 2 months later, and I went back 2 months later, and finally she bought.
Yeah.
Right? Because people don't see people grinding and the tenaciousness and there was nothing negative about them saying no, right? That's their prerogative, and I'm more power to them. But I will be respectful of the no, but I'll be back.
I think one thing people get wrong too, I think a lot of people that go try to sell something, they hear no, they'll go back right. Yeah. I think a lot of people, when someone comes to selling, like, I'm going to see how often they come back right. You're like, yeah, I think
it's a test.
I think people do that for real, right?
You're probably right, but also,
just like if you get an email from someone you don't know, the fourth or fifth email, you're either going to put in spam, like, or you might answer them, right?
That's a fair point. But I also think, too, you don't know what they're going through, right? Mm-hmm. They might have had a really bad day.
Yeah.
Their business might be really suffering, and they don't have time. And give everybody the grace that they deserve.
Yeah.
Because we're all human, right? We're all fallible. We all make mistakes. We can all be jerks sometimes. But give the grace until maybe time 3, and you're like, no more grace. But,
So let's talk about the skill of following up.
Yeah, that's hard, because nobody likes being shot down. And I was joking about it earlier, but it's still hard, right? But you got to go in there, and I tell my boys, the number one way to make a friend, go in with a smile. Yeah. Always have a smile on your face, no matter what. And then here's the other thing: ask them questions. I have been in so many supplier, and that's what we call ourselves, right? Whether it's wine, beer, spirits, we are suppliers in the space of alcohol. And we're going up and talking to distributors, we're going up and talking to accounts. And the best fucking thing that people do, from my perspective, is they go into these meetings, they pull out their laptop and open up a PDF, right? Or a PowerPoint with a gazillion lines on it. That's all 0.0 micro font. And they start reading it. Right? That's the dumbest thing in the world. What I try to do is I go in and I go, Jason, what's going on with you? Mm-hmm. What, and then if you say, Nathan, you're an idiot, get the hell out of my office. And I come back 2 months later and I go, hey, how's it going? Your office doing fine? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, you got, it's not hard. If I can do it, it's definitely not rocket science, but it's the tenaciousness and the, just don't give up.
Yeah. So talking about tech, I think a stat out there that shows, like, if you go pitch a VC or investor, you go straight in the pitch deck, like, my product is blah, blah, blah.
No one fucking cares.
No one cares. But if you, build a relationship, hey.
What are your problems? Yeah. What are the issues you're facing?
Tell
what do your customers want?
And those are the ones that raise money, right?
But also more importantly, I tell, this happens a lot. And I say, hey, look, I think this product will work for you for these reasons. But if you don't think it's going to work for your customers, I don't want you to bring it on. Because then you'll be mad at me, and then I'll be disappointed because you're not reordering. But ultimately, you have to do what's right by your customer. And I think, because I'm also biased, that the flavor, the quality, the heritage, and the price will make sense. But sometimes it doesn't for people, and that's okay.
Do you ever have a place where, maybe I'll make this up, or a wine bar reaches out to you, hey, you know what, we have no bourbon, but we want to try something different. But we want to bring your whiskey into a wine bar or a beer hall.
I will, of course, say yes. Yeah. No, I mean, in that case, you go, are you sure?
Yeah.
You're a wine bar. Mm-hmm. You do it really well. Adding bourbon may be good, but it may not be. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to try it, but but also you can't tell the customer they're wrong.
No.
Ultimately, you can share feedback and insights, but the customer is always right because they're doing what they need to do.
Especially a paying customer, right?
Yeah. Non-paying customers, charity, and we work with a lot of charities, but not on that side. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah. So you talked earlier about how people told you not to do this, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So what was the moment where it was like people telling you, don't do this, you're stupid, you're an idiot, too much competition, you're just like, fuck all y'all, I'm doing this shit. I don't care what it takes, I'm
Immediately. Yeah, I mean, an entrepreneur, you have no other option than to see it through, right? If you believe in the vision, and how many entrepreneurs have been told that they were idiots, that what they were doing was the dumbest thing in the world, right? I think it's Fred Smith, the founder of FedEx, right? Everybody said that FedEx was the dumbest thing in the world, would never work. And he said, you're all wrong, right? Obviously, Steve Jobs is a famous, person in that. Jeff Bezos, any visionary, and I'm not a visionary, man. I mill grain for a living. So let's just, set expectations where they need to be set. But visionaries don't believe in the consensus. And entrepreneurs, even on a smaller front, don't believe in the consensus. The guy who's starting a plumbing service, and there's a lot of plumbing services. You tell me we need more? I guess we do, right? They're going to do it regardless of what the consensus is, or the young woman starting a PR firm or whatever. Just fucking do it and go full bore, right? Means you have to make sacrifices, but don't believe what people tell you. Because nobody knows. You don't know if you're going to be successful, and they don't know if you're going to be successful. But your hard work and your grinding and your making your own reality will definitely help your being successful versus hurt it.
So how did your tech background help you or hurt you building this company?
Yeah, I think about that one a lot, actually. That's a good one. I think minimum viable product. Mm-hmm. Get something to fucking market. A lot of people create stuff and they want to make it perfect. And the perfect is the enemy of the great, right? I'm totally flubbing that line. But, our first bourbon, man, was 9 months old in a 15-gallon barrel. And it was good, right? But if I was still selling that bourbon now, I'd be dead man walking, right? And this next batch was 9.5 months old or what have you, right? And the third batch was back to 8.5 months. I make it go in the wrong direction. But get it done. And also I think too is efficiencies and compartmentalize. Like you walk into 2-Bar and you've been there, right? It goes grain, mill, mash, ferment, distill, age, and bottle. All very logical and very efficient. And I think that has allowed us, not having a lot of capital. You see distilleries or any production facility, the product comes in here, then they have to do something over here, and then they got to move it all the way heck over there. That's just dumb, man. You have to be efficient. And that is one of the things about tech that I think I got early. So efficiency, MVP, and capital constrained. How to run something with almost no capital and how to grow it.
Talk about this, right? So in the tech world, they always talk about, MVP. They talk about, do MVP, call people, do beta testing. But people, they forget it's not easy to have people beta test yourself, right? It's not hard. You just can't call up 20 random people you don't know and, give me 30 minutes for you.
We have Google reviews and Yelp reviews, and oh my God, never read those though. Those are evil and vile. And you would think that somehow people we have whiskey and we just whiskey. We just make bourbon. And these people are the things they say, you're where are you getting this from?
Yeah.
Why are you so mean about it? If you don't like it, that's fine. But also, if you've had pickles for lunch and now you're drinking bourbon, you're going to have a bad flavor profile. Yeah. Don't put that shit on me, Ricky Bobby. That's on you. But, the best feedback, hands down, is the repeat customer, right? Our 80 proof, our flagship, grew at some retailers by 45% organically last year, right? Their depletions, how they were selling it, increased 45%. That's a 30% growth. I'll fucking take that over some idiot online telling me I'm a jerk. Or I shouldn't say they're idiots, but I guess the cat's out of bag.
Yeah.
But the real test in our business is, do people reorder? And they almost always do.
So you said you've been with Trader Joe's for a while.
Yeah,
So they're like pretty reliable customer.
they're a wonderful customer.
So look, just hypothetical, right? Let's suppose whoever you deal with came to you like next week and say, you know what? Great relationship, love your bourbon, but we're going to go another way, right?
Yeah.
Nothing against you, like we're just doing something different. What you like? Okay, I mean, you're not going to beg them to keep your product. But how do you go about like, hey, here's a better deal? Like, what can I do?
Well, I think that's a tough one because as a supplier in this business with a lot of suppliers in the business, right? I think there are something like 5,000 distilleries, 10,000 distilleries in the United States, up from like 3,000 when I opened or 2,000. They have all the options and there's no contracts. Trader Joe's or anybody, we love the Trader Joe's account, right? We try to take good care of them and we try to manage that, but that's their prerogative. They can do whatever the hell they want, whenever the hell they want to do it. And you go, well, thank you for coming to me. Is there anything I can do? And if there is, let's see if we can meet in the middle. If not, it is what it is. But I will say too that most accounts want to work with you on stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's usually, if it's working for them, it's working for you.
Okay.
Right. If it doesn't work for them, you'll know pretty quick. Right. Like if they don't reorder, there's a reason.
Or maybe they don't order as much as they did last time.
Well, and that can happen. But that could also be at a macro level too, right? I mean, we grew 30% last year, but we lost 30+% of Washington distilleries in 2025, right? There's a lot going away. And so I knock on wood, but I'll knock on a enclosure, a cap there. We're growing, but dude, it's a brutal business and it's dog eat dog and open warfare. And those with the best bourbon or the best product at the best price and the best provenance, what have you, hopefully will win, but they don't always, right? Sometimes it comes down to other variables that you have no control over.
So is there a difference between building like a software product versus building like a physical product?
Yes. Yes. One, you can outsource a lot of your software development internationally. We can't and would never do that. Two, the ROI on software can be pretty quick. The ROI on bourbon is not quick, right? I remember I went from a product, a software release like every few weeks or every week. Now I'm like living off bourbon. I'm selling bourbon that I made 4 or 5 years ago. So it was laid down in 2020 or 2021. So that's a big delta.
What stores in Texas are you in, if any?
We are not in Texas, ironically.
Okay.
I did.
That is very
I'm working on it.
At least a Yoakum, Texas 7-Eleven.
Well, on what is today? Monday. On Wednesday, I got an email from a lady who runs a store in Yoakum wanting our bourbon. But we're working on a distributor down there right now, but it takes time,
So I don't know if you heard
Which
this.
kills me.
So obviously you know what Buc-ee's is.
Oh yeah, I love Buc-ee's.
Did you see it a week ago with the Better Business Bureau gave him like a F?
What?
And people were like, people comment, first of all, no one's cared about Better Business Bureau since 1993,
Yeah. Why did they get an F?
I don't remember this. They gave him an F for some reason, yeah.
I mean, you are so out of touch if you're giving Buc-ee's an F.
Yeah.
I mean, the only person that matters is the consumer.
Yeah.
And the consumer or the customer loves Buc-ee's. We're talking about Buc-ee's in Seattle, Washington. There's no Buc-ee within like 2,000 miles.
Yep.
So who cares?
And I dare anyone go to Buc-ee's and I spend at least $20, $30.
Oh, man. I mean, the experience is amazing, right? We, like we said, we go down and the boys are like, we stop at Buc-ee's. So we always fly into Austin because we have friends and family there. And we're going to spend a night at a friend's house in Austin who we just adore. And we're going to drive down to Yoakum. And when we cross I-10 right there, there's a Buc-ee's, and it's the largest one in the world.
Yeah.
And we have to go in. It's not optional. And the boys just love it, man. I mean, the car is full of stuff. I got to be nice. Because I love Buc-ee's.
It's everything.
I mean, but they realize they're not in the gas business.
No, definitely not.
They're in, the kitsch. Is that the
Yeah.
right term? I think it is.
Yeah.
Kitsch business.
Yep.
And they crush it.
Yep.
And like know what business you're in. That's the only thing that matters. Like I joke about it. I'm in the bourbon business, but I'm not actually.
Yeah.
Do you know what business I'm in? I'm in the relationship business. You know, when you have a glass of bourbon, Jason, like if you're having it on your own,
Yeah.
you're celebrating a moment in time that can
Yeah.
never be replicated.
Yeah.
But if you're celebrating that, if you're having that bourbon or that glass and they both have a glass of two buddies that you haven't seen each other in 5 to 10 years and you're reconnecting, I'm in the memories and relationship business, right? We facilitate community and relationships, conversation. Bourbon is just the mechanism.
Yeah. Like a tool, so to speak, right?
It is. That's right. You know, and I'd say like the why of what we do and what any industry is or every business is more important than the what. Like I used to be COO of a tech company called and you know we did data hosting and web hosting for people, and people were like, oh, you're in the web hosting business. I was like, no, we're in the you get to sleep at night business, because if you ran a business and you were on our servers and you were doing 20, 30, 40 million dollars a month, you wanted to know that we were not asleep and that we were making that sure that ran for you. We called you with a solution before you even knew there was a problem, right? You're in that safety business. So anyway, in bourbon, we're in the relationship business, I think.
So you might not know the answer to this, but so I don't know if you're a cigar smoker or not.
I am.
But are there any like cigars that you know of that pair like great with your bourbon?
I've never had a bad cigar with 2-bar bourbon.
I mean, obviously, yeah. But which one is like better than most?
You know, I'll be honest, man. I love cigars, but I don't know my cigars. I wish Sony should be here. Sony is our cigar smoking aficionado. I usually go for like a little bit of a lighter
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
cigar. But I will say, like the Bottle and Bond that we have here stands up really well with that. The darker, heavier cigars, I'd go either the wine barrel finished, which is a little more savory, or our 80 proof bourbon. But you know, I'm so discerning that any cigar with my bourbon and you had me at hello.
Great answer. So what is your growth plan for the next year, next 2-3 years? What's your growth plan?
One, slow and steady.
So you don't know.
Well,
you don't know rocket. You just want slow and steady.
There's no logarithmic growth, right? I mean, being that we make everything, I'm living off whiskey I made 4 years ago. So there is a growth potential, but it's not logarithmic, right? That's the other thing that's different from tech. In tech, you just go, we're just spinning up servers, right? And you can grow in the classic hockey stick. But we have to grow slowly and methodically. And because we're not spending gazillions of dollars on marketing, and we're not doing billboards around the country, right? I'm not
No Joe Rogan podcast ads.
not doing Joe Rogan podcast ads. I do have a few podcasters that I like, and I'm not sponsoring them, but I ship them bottles just as a thank you for what they do. And one of them has them behind him in the podcast, but he has them turned around. And I was like, this son of a gun.
Yeah, that does no good. Yeah.
What? But it's okay. I didn't send them for that reason. Yeah. I just, for them to enjoy. But I mean, it's slow and steady. Like I don't want to do anything else. Right? Outside of being a husband and a dad, I just want to make whiskey because it's a gift. It's awesome.
So how does this work, right? Like suppose this is 2026, right? Post 2026, 2027, the corn crop is fucking stellar. It's off the chain, whatever. It's really good. Great corn. 2028,
sucks for me then.
2028, something happens, right? And there's a drought or the corn's bad. Like how does that play into like your bourbon making? How good or bad the corn is or why? And it has nothing to do with that you control, right?
I've never thought of that. So we've been doing it now making for almost 14 plus years, right? Because it took a while to get it up in a bottle. And we've had droughts, we've had everything. But the good thing about Washington State is we have the rain and it's all irrigated. The thing that would probably be really detrimental if there was pardon the interstellar reference, like a blight or something that killed off the corn. But I don't think that's going to happen. So we've never had that issue.
Okay.
And knock on wood, right? Because it's not been a problem.
So why is it important to get all your stuff as much as you can from Washington State farmers, like buy local, so to speak, versus buying from Venezuela or Mexico or even Texas?
Yeah. One, it's important for us, right? I remember traveling the back roads of South Texas with my grandfather, and man alive, dude, I learned so much from that guy. Not necessarily, well, one in just his knowledge, but two with how he interacted with people. Right. One of my favorite stories is we drive up to this feedlot in Hoheim. It's like Hocheim, Hoheim, Texas. And he pulls up, backs up the truck, and this old gentleman starts loading the feed, right? And I was a smart ass, dumbass teenage kid, right? Like full of piss and vinegar and ego. And I was like, oh yeah, this guy's good. Let's get it loaded and go. And my grandfather goes, and I don't remember his name. This was a long time ago, 35, 37 years ago. I was young, 12, 13. And my grandfather goes, Dave, how's the family? And like, we're in the middle of nowhere, right? We drove hours to get to this place for some reason, probably because it was cheaper. And my grandfather loved a deal. And he was like, how are your children? Right? And this guy was a laborer his whole life. Like, he might have been 50, 60, he could have been 70, and his body was broken. And my grandfather knew everything about him. Right?
I mean, that stuff matters, right?
So much. I still get emotional about it. And in that moment, I learned it doesn't matter who the fuck you are. We're all. I get a little emotional. Like, we're human in this endeavor. We're all human on this planet that goes around and around, and we need to treat each other like that. And it was an important lesson for a young man to learn. I mean, he knew their ages, and he probably had only seen this guy the year before.
Yeah.
Right. And I my grandfather was a pretty sweet dude, as was my grandmother. But I digress. Anyway, and that's why we try to be local, so we can know the people, because it's fucking life is short, man. I mean, I'm 50.
It's so short, right?
Yeah, I'm 50, and I'm like, holy shit, how much do I have? Less than half my time left.
Have you seen this? I think they made this calendar, right, from the time the universe started to when humans
we
came.
don't even exist.
Yeah.
We're not even a blip.
We're like
a microscopic
10 p.m.
blip
on December 31st or something like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, the human lifespan, say you lived to 80, right? My wife's grandmother, it was 95, 96, which is a good run. Just passed, sadly, loved her. But it's not a long time.
It's not.
And
how much of the waste stuff like watching Netflix or doing bullshit, right? How much?
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, how much don't do stuff.
And
you need to do.
And those previous generations, dude, they worked.
Oh yeah, they didn't. You didn't need a gym back in 1821. You don't even know if I could gym.
No. I mean, I remember, like, my grandfather was like, "What are you talking about going to the gym? We got to go load like 60-pound bags of feed. We got to load them into the truck, and we got to climb up ladder to load them into a feeder." And you're like, I'm dead. And he's like, oh no, that was the first hour of the day.
Yeah.
And it was like 118 degrees.
What do you mean break? Your break is when you throw it and you get another one, a little seconds between that. That's your break.
They do lunch well, right? Like or dinner, right? Because dinner is lunch, and supper is our dinner.
Yeah.
And he did nap, man. Yeah. That guy knew how. Like, he would come home from working in the ranch and just filthy, dirty, dusty, sweaty, take off all the clothes and walk in just with his briefs and go right to bed for an hour.
Yeah.
And then come back. I was like, all right, let's go. And I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah, we're not built like that. At least most of us ain't built like that
Not anymore. No.
Here's a question for you. I ask on a podcast sometimes. So you have three options: stay where you're at today, right? Or go 500 years in the future, or 500 years in the past.
Ooh, can I do all three? Nope, can't do all three. See, an entrepreneur wants to do all of it, right? Fuck, that's a tough one. Because I love sci-fi, and I would love to see what the future holds. But I really love my fucking life, man. It's not easy, but I wouldn't want to leave. I want to see my boys grow up, and I want to grow old with my wife. I'm an old school dumbass that way, I guess.
I do. That's my answer too. I do the same way, because 5 years future, people say, scientific stuff will solve problems. Yeah, but what if we blew each other up? Or what if there's a sign?
Oh, we're not going to do that.
Or there's a sign that says we over to Mars, right?
Yeah.
And me, I'm not built for 500 years of past, right?
New.
The diseases, the shit that going on.
You
like
lived
no.
to like 30.
30,
500 years. Okay, so 500 years in the past would have been right around 15, 26.
Black Plague.
Fucking death everywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone, right? If you had
No immune
12
system.
kids, 2 survived,
Yeah.
you'd be on your third wife because they'd
Yeah.
all have died in childbirth. Not a fan.
And you probably fought in 3 wars because the Lord of the area took you in the army.
And you know, like that old joke, right? Everyone says, I'm a born again Joan of Arc. I'm a born again, right? All this stuff. Like, I'm reincarnated Joan of Arc. I'm reincarnated king or queen. No. They were all peasants.
Yeah.
They all lived hard, brutal, short lives in absolute filth.
One thing makes you laugh too, you see all the time these people like, here's my coat of arms. Motherfucker, you weren't no fucking king.
No. No.
Your generation back were fucking serfs or laborers.
They were
They
all
have no
serfs.
coat of arms. There was no coat of arms.
And like, I mean, I do love it. It's kind of fun when people are like, oh, I'm related to this person. And I was like, who cares? Doesn't mean anything. But 500 years ago what I would love to go see is like 5 million years ago, right? That would be cool. But yeah, I like it here and now. Like we live in the best time in all of human history. People are divided and people hate shit, but this country's always been like that.
Yeah,
The whole world's been like that.
like someone did a post on TikTok one time. It was pretty funny. He was like, you know, I'm getting tired of people saying that, you know, the war is so violent, right? And all the violence, like he was like, Cain killed Abel. The third person killed the fourth person.
Yeah.
Humans have always been violent, right?
Well, back in the day, it was like you know, it was tribe on tribe. It was tribal warfare. You would go to the next tribe over, kill all the men, take the women, and adopt the children, if not kill the boy children, right? And like we've been killing each other since time immemorial.
It's the human DNA, unfortunately, right?
And we live in a time in which we have a little more control on that, and more of us are living in healthier, longer, more fruitful lifestyles. It's like the fucking best time to be alive.
Yeah, like you said, people does bad things, but like as far as like the diseases are down, all the metrics as far as like human survival have all gotten better, right?
Right. That's right. Like I'm 50. I would have been a great grandfather if I was even alive.
Yeah.
Right. 500 years ago. Now humans live to 50 and 60 and 70, but not many of them.
Here's one for you. So in the Bible, it would say, you know, so and so lived 900,000 years.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
was the math different or like, you know, like,
You know, I don't know. I'm not a biblical guy. There we go. But I wonder if it was more. I just don't know.
yeah. I always thought that was interesting, right? Like the Bible says Noah lived 800 years. This person lived 300 years. And then it's like that. People started dying at 35.
But remember, too, the British used to say that Napoleon Bonaparte, was super short.
And he was actually like 5'7" or something, 5'8".
He was the same height as the British, but they just had a different measurement for the foot.
And it
than
probably
the British
had
did.
probably had to be like they're trying to make him look like a fucking shrimp too for like branding, not branding, but you know, war fighting, whatever.
Fake news.
Fake news, yeah.
Not to get political, but I mean,
there is
it's
a fake
been there since day one, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, I was just in Philly. Benjamin Franklin, right? One of the things he did was write horrible things about everybody else, just to smear them in the political campaigns, right? That sounds familiar. So,
Some things never change, right?
no, sir.
Yeah, one thing people don't realize, all this stuff going on, like if you go back to Roman times, Egyptian times, the same things were happening, right? Same backstabbing.
No,
same
Egyptians,
whatever.
you were all slaves.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody was a slave back then.
Yep.
Right? Like, no, everybody, like, life was hard. And it's not in a hard way that we can imagine where it's like, oh, my internet is out.
Yeah.
It's like 80% of my family is dead from the plague randomly.
Imagine having this job, right? Suppose you live in, like, we'll say, whatever the place in Germany is now, right? But it's called back then, right? And there's no toilets, right? And all the rich people, all the kings and queens, they're on the 20th floor of the castle. They shit in a hole. The shit goes down to the bottom.
And that's your water source.
And your water source.
Yeah.
And your job is, like, kick this shit and put in the water.
Yeah, no.
I don't think we realize how far and fast we come. Like even 100 years ago, there's no electricity.
Yeah.
Most people had outhouses, you know.
Well, I mean, it's like, you went from seeing electricity to a man on the moon, right?
That's
And
what
we
I'm
think
not
change is rapid now, and it is. But the 20th century 1880s to like the 1999, human brain has never seen anything like
No.
that, right? So like in the fact that we have a computer, sorry, in our like this is not a phone.
No.
It's really just a camera.
Yeah, that's like the camera.
But I'm using it now. I go, hey, ChatGPT or
Yep.
whatever, answer these questions for me or do this for me. And you're like, we live in the best time in human history. Not everyone agrees with me. And
I'm with you though. This is the best time in human history, right?
it's, dude. And I look at, here's another thing that everybody bitches about the next generation. I don't know if you've seen this, but I interact with so I have 3 children, right? High school to junior high to elementary school. And through them, I get to interact with a lot of kids because we're involved in the school and scouts and all this stuff. And these kids, man, are so smart. You give them 2 or 3 data points and they can extrapolate way farther than anyone that like my generation can, or at least for me, than I can. Like I think now we need to get them off Snapchat and social media, but that's true for us too. But like I think the world's in good hands, but I'm maybe a minor voice there.
My son, his girlfriend, and my grandson live with us, right? My grandson's
How old is your son?
30,
How old's your grandson?
2.
Congratulations.
And
Is it the best thing ever?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how he does it. My grandson, at 2 years old, can be watching TV upstairs. I suppose he's watching some cartoons. He can transfer it downstairs.
I don't even know how the fuck that works.
I have no idea. We have no idea how he does it, but he'll go there. He'll watch it on TV. Has like a little iPad thing, like push the buttons, and like I'm watching like sports, and all of a sudden like cartoons coming, like what the fuck going on? And my grandson walks downstairs. I'm watching cartoons down
Why
here.
the hell is Bluey on my show?
Yeah, and we're like, what the fuck?
Well, so my 10-year-old who doesn't even have a phone, right, knows how to work my phone better than I do. And that's just humiliating.
That's how they're growing up, right? Just like they're intuitive, right?
But I think they're just they're not lacking for any nutrients, right? Like
No.
if they were, like we've, tried our best to raise them, but like they're just so fucking smart.
Yeah.
I like way smarter than I ever was. But the bar is low on that one.
I know a lot of people complain, oh, ChatGPT is making people dumber. I don't think it is, right? Now, of course, some people use it the wrong way,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like if you use it the right way, of course you can't put like, hey ChatGPT, I'm in the 10th grade, write me an 8-page paper about Roman history, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah.
You can take that as base, but then you got to like refine it, redo research.
The one issue I have is not with ChatGPT or any of the AI. Those are tools, right, to use, and we're always working on new tools, right?
Yeah.
The computer, they thought the computer was going to be the downfall for us as well.
I mean,
right?
people thought like the newspaper would be the downfall.
Right. That's
People
right.
thought
Yeah, and radio.
back in the Bible days, everyone can read now. No, everything go to hell. Yeah.
Right. When they used to, and then back even earlier when they only had a service in Latin.
Yep. Yeah.
But what I do worry about, and I see it with my boys, is everything's on the computer, but the real knowledge base and real wisdom and experience and retention comes from learning, processing, and handwriting it on a page of paper. So like everything my kids do is on computers, and I was like, "Fuck, can we just do paper?" But anyway,
So I don't know if this is true or not. Someone put on social media that the reason they don't teach cursive in school no more is that way they won't be able to read the Constitution and know their rights and stuff like that.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, I think that's
my
bullshit, too.
my oldest learned cursive as a kid in elementary school because the teacher was like, it's super important because it hand-eye coordination and everything.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff out there.
So talk about the unsexy part of your business, right? Like the P&L, the financials, the taxes.
Yeah, that's how much time do we have? So I think Washington State has historically been an amazing place to do business, but it's getting brutal. Like the B&O tax, like Washington is getting overly taxed right now for small entrepreneurs. The big guys will just leave, right? They'll just leave and they'll be like, sayonara, suckers, figure it out on your own. But like I'm getting all these updated taxes now, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is a lot of money, and I'm not making a lot more money, right? Like I don't know where it's coming from. That's the really unsexy part is, so we pay what's called the FET, the federal excise tax, and we pay that to the federal government. Then we pay B&O tax, and then we pay payroll taxes, and then we pay all the other taxes in Washington State, and it's getting pretty hard. Like a lot of restaurants, if you go to a restaurant right now, this is getting a little political, but and you're like a party of three, you're out the door for $400, and the restaurant's not making any money, and you're hemorrhaging money because of it's like 3 entrees, a drink or two, and maybe an appetizer, and that's $300-400. Like you're talking almost half a grand, and they're not making any money either because Washington State's just very hard to do business in right now.
Well, it's crazy. Even a fast food restaurant, like fast food isn't cheap anymore, right?
No.
It's like, I think a McDonald's fry is like $8, something crazy like that,
Yeah, and that, like you're going to lose a lot of jobs. That's why a lot of places are going to a kiosk to order. One place, you order at the bar, you self-serve yourself.
Yeah.
And that's not a dining experience that people enjoy. But but this is everyone's mad at the restaurant. And I was like, they're not making any money.
Yeah.
A restaurant makes 2 to 3% net profit.
Yeah.
2 to 3%. So if your fuel costs are going up, and they just did, right? If your beef costs go up, if your COGS go up like 20%, where's the money go?
Yeah.
Where's it come from? It's gone.
And then everyone in Seattle wants to get paid $50 an hour.
Yeah, and I think that's tough because there's a lot of jobs out there that are not meant to be honest, lifetime jobs. They are entry jobs. Like I remember when I was working in, everybody does the, my experience because that's what I have. It's anecdotal, but I don't think it's wrong. And I was getting paid what, $4?
Yeah, back $3.75, back then $4.25.
I was a bagger at a grocery store, right? And I didn't have any skills. And then that got me a job, and then I got me a new job, and then I got me the next job. If you had told me, the 14, 15-year-old me, that was a $24 an hour job and that I was supposed to live on it, I've been like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because the businesses don't have that money.
No.
Restaurants and retail grocery is a 3% gross margin. That's insane.
I agree.
And
like you said, my thing is like, no, we're wrong. If you're 32 years old and you're a manager of McDonald's, good for you, right? You're making good money. But if you're 32 years old and your job is cooking fries for a living, like something has seriously gone wrong in your fucking life. People have fucking failed
But
you.
the problem there is that there's no jobs for 15, 16, 17, or 18-year-olds. And if they don't have that first job, it's harder to get that second job or third job.
A good example, when I was growing up, you would cut grass.
Oh, yeah.
Now you have all these fucking companies cutting the grass. Like, I don't think
Well, there's no paper boys anymore or paper routes anymore either, right?
No.
I'm trying to figure out what my boys can do because I do think, like a solid work ethic is important. You go it's like out grinding, right?
Yeah.
The same concept. And if you don't have a solid work ethic, you're going to be hurting in life.
Yeah.
Because the universe does not care.
They don't.
And I don't think it should. Right? Like it's just not how it pencils out. So
do you know this comedian named Chris Rock?
Oh, for sure. Everybody,
So he did a show one time, right? He was like, quit telling your fucking kids they're special. Your kids are not special. They're special to you, but the guy down the street don't give a fuck about your kid. Like, don't quit pumping your kids up and telling them they're special, right?
Well,
get them prepared for the world.
I got in trouble, Jason, when one of my boys was doing baseball and he got the participation trophy, and I go, you didn't earn this, right? And he was like, what? And some of the parents were looking at me like, what? And I go, yeah, you did not earn this. You played like shit this season. And yeah, I'm glad you had fun. That's great. That's important. But you didn't earn this trophy.
Yeah.
And but ultimately, I'm right. Right? You don't earn anything you don't work for.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, anytime anybody is given anything, and it never ends well. Like that distillery I was talking about that started with $60 million of Dad's money, he was given that money, and more power to him. But he didn't understand what that was.
So, random point for you, right? What do you think? Of course, suicide is bad, right? What demographic do you think has the highest suicide rate?
Oh, I don't know.
Trust fund babies.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I bet that's, yeah.
Because they have nothing to live for. They have nothing to do. They just like have a purpose of life. Yeah.
Yeah, and I do think we get a lot of value out of what we create.
Yeah.
And I don't, it's tough, but I don't think the human experience was meant to just sit on our ass and
No.
do nothing.
You're supposed to do something, right?
And it could be anything. It could be like, go do charity work, go
Yeah.
do, do a nonprofit. Like,
You have to have some kind of purpose.
you got to have a goal.
some kind of purpose.
That's
Yeah.
and I will say this to your point. I think that the me concept is the worst concept in the world because I don't think I matter at all. I matter to my loved ones, right? And I matter to my business, but it's what I create for the people around me that really matters.
Here's something for you. This is my opinion, right? What do you think makes humans as a species different from any other species? Different from fishes, animals?
We create?
Yes. We create and we have to improve everything, right?
Yeah.
You just like this bourbon, right? I'm sure you want to make a better bourbon next year, right?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every fucking day.
We want to do stuff better all the time.
We're always like, we meet a lot because, right, it's a small team.
Mm-hmm.
It's very easy to meet up. And we're like, what can we do that is 1% better?
Yeah.
In the early days, it's what's 10 to 20%
Like I
better.
see iPhones, everything. We have to make stuff better,
Although
right?
these are just getting more expensive with better cameras.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I think that's what separates from other animals. And I could be wrong. Maybe.
No, I think it's the to change our environment, and
That's a good one too,
which is to create.
We want to make it. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. We want to make an environment better, some kind of way.
But my boys, I was like, look, the world does not care.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't care. You do not matter except to you and the people around you. Go do something special.
The other thing too, unless you're like a Roman emperor like Trajan or JFK.
Oh, that was me in another life.
Yeah, unless you're something like that, odds are you're 3-4 generations down. They're like, who the fuck was Jason Cavness?
Yeah.
He's in my family tree, but who was he? Right?
That's right.
Like I knew my grandfather.
Trust me, Nathan Kaiser is no different.
I knew my grandfather. I have no idea what my great grandfather. I know my great grandfather came from the boat from Italy.
Oh, cool.
That's all I know about him, right? But like 3-4 generations, it's like yeah.
You're dead.
Yep.
And you're most likely fairly forgotten. So make it, make a difference now.
Have fun
and call it good.
Here's one for you, right?
And don't live with regrets. I think this
is funny, right? I seen this video, right? So on TikTok, this little girl said, and the dad said it again. Yeah, I think she always say I think the plants feed us oxygen and water to harvest us, so when we die, they can eat our bodies.
Not wrong.
I'm like, oh shit, that's fucking like goddamn.
What was I saying about they're a lot smarter than us?
Yep.
No, I mean I think that's true, man. Like
it makes fucking logical sense, right?
It turns out dust to dust is not inaccurate.
Yeah.
But I think too it's like liberating. I realized a long time ago I don't need to matter to history.
Yeah.
Because why? But I do endear to enjoy every minute I can while alive.
I mean, perfect example. Like, can anyone name the U.S. senator from the state of Kansas in 1993? Probably not. Or 1847,
Nope.
And he's a fucking U.S. senator, right? That's a pretty fucking important position in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Or like the 4-star general during 1891.
Yeah, no one knows.
No, and no one cares.
No, although they probably have like a aircraft carrier named after him.
Probably so. Yeah.
But I don't. But that's like this is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And it's when we have to matter to the generations that we go on a trap.
So another pet peeve of mine is too. I'll get blasted for this, right? So get paid with your value, right? If you deserve to get paid, but like too many people think they deserve $500 an hour, and they have a $5 hour talent, skill, and $5 hour worth ethic, right?
Well, in a real world, the market dictates it.
Yeah.
And in a false world, the market has no say. Mm-hmm. And, I think we're finding that now where you can dictate to the market only for so long.
Yeah.
And now Washington State is broke as a goat, but they're still making more money than they've ever made.
Yeah. So, how there's a gas tax?
I do, yeah.
Is there an alcohol tax you have to pay?
Oh my God, boy howdy! So in spirits, which is different from wine and beer, the distributor has to pay a 5% distribution fee. The retailer right? If you go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or Mint Market or QFC, right, Safeway, they have to pay a 17% fee of gross sale on spirits. Then the consumer has to pay a 20.5% sales tax.
God damn.
And a per liter fee. So Washington has the most expensive gas and spirits, one of the most expensive gas prices, but also the most expensive spirit taxes in the country.
That's fucking insane.
I mean, it is what it is. And
Cost of doing business, I guess.
And it's been like, so here's the irony to that, if I may, is like when I opened, a lot of distilleries were doing well because the state owned the import, the warehousing, and distribution and sale of all spirits. Right? Remember all the old state liquor stores? Mm-hmm. And they were crushing, Jason. I mean, they were in all the stores statewide. The state was reordering every week by multiple pallets, right? They were making hand over fist. But if you came in later and the state was like, well, we don't want to sell your stuff, you were dead men walking. And I opened in 2012, late 2012, in October, November. And yeah, so it'll be 14 years here shortly. And the state got out of it. And the guys that were living high on the hog with the state owning all the liquor sales realized that they had to go sell door to door and that they actually had to hustle and grind. And they're no longer here, you know. And so while we're paying higher taxes, disproportionate to anywhere else in the country, it at least allows anyone to sell on the merit, right? And I think that matters too.
So this is my opinion, right? So COVID came, and a lot of small business were not business, right? My theory is like these small business were in business. My theory is they were not in business anyway, but COVID just sped up the process.
Maybe. The only problem with COVID is a lot of that was, you know, arbitrary. Mm-hmm. And a business is going to go out of business if, one way or the other, if it's not doing well. But a lot of that arbitrariness caused a lot to go under that might have survived in the real world. You're probably right to a degree. But, like when you couldn't go to a beach or a park outside on your own.
Yeah. Or you're hiking somewhere and some dude half a mile away, put your mask on.
Yeah. And like part of me, and I have a microbiology degree and I studied virology and infectious diseases in college, and I was like, they didn't, I'm torn here because they didn't know. They really did not know. Like the 6-foot rule was arbitrary.
Yeah.
Remember how you could only go one direction in an aisle at a grocery store? They didn't know. And we were lucky in that COVID only targeted really the elderly or those that were
unhealthy
or large.
20,000 pounds,
Yeah. Kids weren't affected. I mean, to be honest, like my father got it and he went on a respirator.
Yeah.
And most of those did not survive.
No.
And he did. So thank God. But ultimately, I was telling my wife, I said, look, this is what's going to happen is you're going to wave and then you'll get, it'll become part of the normal thing.
Yeah. It's like a flu 2.0 now.
It's like not even a cold now. Right. And I'm torn, man, because I get it.
Yeah.
I'm a really fan of freedom, personal freedom. But they didn't know. But what the problem is, I think they acted like they did.
Yeah, that's a problem. Like, what's that one guy?
And they lost a lot of trust that way.
Yeah, like I think the most famous example that guy, Dr. Fauci, whatever his name is, first he said, I see why he did. He said, you don't have to wear a mask. He said that because there was no enough masks for the teachers or the medical professionals.
The real problem is cloth masks are dumb.
Yeah.
They, the N95, I think they're called.
The real mask.
Block much smaller micron level. A cloth mask just breathes it out.
Yeah.
And I wonder if a lot of that was just to make people feel safer, even though it was, kabuki theater.
Yeah.
It was not real.
I agree.
Should we be talking about bourbon? Much more my super sweet spot. No, I'm just joking.
No.
Man.
Another thing too, if you're in the state of Washington, put your fucking mask on. What's wrong with you? You go to Texas, what the fuck's wrong with you fucking liberal? You fucking hippie motherfucker.
Yeah.
Fuck, take your mask
It did
off,
a lot to divide the country unnecessarily, I think.
Best way to see if they're left or right,
Yeah, I mean, it got weird that way, to be honest.
It did, yeah.
And I'm a company selling in Washington, so,
Yeah. I think most people do the best they can, right? The information they have.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's some people take advantage and do stupid shit, but most people are like, okay, let me do the best I can,
I think, I remember we drove up and we're doing like Fred Meyer shopping remote or whatever it's called. And it was just so peculiar. I don't miss those days at all, Jason. Like, it was so hard for us with the 3 boys in school, and our 10-year-old was in kindergarten. And I remember he was going like this in this, he had his class online, and he was going like this, like slowly slipping down to the floor. And my wife was like, "Hey, what do you need? Candy?" And I was like, "Just let him off the, it doesn't work. Online education does not work for kindergartners."
I know the state had done like the COVID kids in school, like they're so far behind socially,
No, that whole generation is behind. So our 10-year-old, right, and he is just, a creative, fun-loving, just a wonderful young kid, right? But getting him just to baseline reading levels was so much work.
Like, how's that affect that group? Like, as far as getting jobs,
they're all at a big
skills,
deficit.
yeah.
They're all at a deficit, and it's quite tragic.
And so it's like the kids after them gonna pretty much take him over or whatever. Like suppose someone went to graduate from high school in 2020, or the people graduating high school in 2024 gonna be so much more advanced for them. Better advantage.
Yeah, it's.
I want to see the studies in the future. Like, how many of those COVID kids make less money, do less stuff.
Well, I think too they're just behind, right? And that has a far and long-reaching consequences. Marissa is my wife, and we worked very hard to get Whitman, who is our 10-year-old, then 5-year-old, kindergarten in COVID, to back to baseline reading levels, and now he's reading I remember the first time, man. I love this story. I go to check the boys. That's where I put him to bed, and he had made a tent out of his bed, right? And so you couldn't see in the bed, and you could see a light coming out. And he was reading a book on his own late at night, and I was like, I have to act like I'm upset, but this is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
And now he's reading. He just read at 10 Ender's Game and all these old school sci-fi that are serious books. And dude, it was a battle to get him to that level, and that's because of online learning doesn't work, and wearing a mask in your early formative years of reading and writing is brutal, and really set him back.
Yeah, a lot of hard lessons learned. So I think the stat though that says the younger generations are drinking less. I think it's because they can buy dope now legally. But how do you factor that into your business plan? Knowing these generations are drinking less.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of data that is conflicting. They're not drinking out a lot because it's so expensive. I think it's a big price issue too. We're one of the only local distilleries that lowered our prices as our costs got better. It's our 80 proof is $25. That's crazy. And we're doing really well. Most young 20-somethings have no money, man. They don't have the jobs.
Yeah.
The opportunities aren't out there, right? The tech jobs have dried up, right? For a lot of reasons. Yeah. They overhired. And, pot too, I'm not a fan. Obviously, I'm biased because my business is 180 degrees from that. But pot up to your 25 is bad.
Yeah.
Right. And
so that's one regret I have. I love drinking. I smoke dope once in a while. But if I had to do it over again, I would not have a drink or smoke any drugs or do any drugs until I was like 26, right? Because now I
Yeah.
realize the brain stuff,
Oh yeah.
if I do it over again, that's what, I don't say it's a regret, but if I do it over again, I would like not do any of that stuff until I was 26.
Pot is bad for the young brain.
Yeah, very
I
bad.
mean, it's not that great. Like everything I'm a big believer in everything in moderation. But the other thing that I think pot is done solo. And this generation is hurting from connections, a lack of. And that's where, I mean, dude, when I was a kid, we had, a kid, I mean, like, 18 to 25, going out and grabbing beers with my buddies or sneaking beers with my buddies. And at pot, you do your fucking edible, and that's great. And then you pass out in a chair.
Yeah.
And you're missing out on meeting people.
Yep.
You're missing out on the socialization. And what do they call it? The loneliness epidemic.
Yeah.
And
Like you might have 1 million followers on Instagram, but no true friends.
yeah. And that if no one cares about the 1 million followers on Instagram, right? Well, I
mean, probably not 100,000, probably fucking bots from Russia and China.
yeah. Yeah. But like what really matters is the personal connections. And pot is generally done in a way
You want to crash
makes
out.
you more lonely. It makes you more depressed.
You want to zone out, sleep on the couch usually,
And a lot of Doritos. Yeah. And that's not good.
No.
I'm
Especially not every day.
No. I'm a believer in like go out and have a beer with friends. Go out to a bar and meet someone of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Go for it. They won't do it.
No. Like, of course, there's some people like Snoop Dogg who smoke 2-3 a day and do what he does, but he's been smoking dope since like 3 years old, right? Everyone can't be Snoop Dogg, right? Some people
No.
are like Joe Rogan. He smokes dope before he works out. Does stuff. Most people can't do that. Most people like smoke dope.
I'd be like this.
edible. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do I was like I tried it, the edibles, right? I don't like the smoking pot.
I have my throat burns. It's a bad experience.
It's not fun.
And I do an edible. I might take one edible out of the bag. I'm hyper focused. Next one, I can barely stay awake. Next one,
I have to
all
cut
different.
mine up into quarters or eighths, and it's still too much pot for me, right? I'm like,
One thing I'm a big fan of, like whenever I take a long flight, I always take edible for the plane flight to knock me out. So I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, I do that. Yeah,
that's to each their own. But be social, make friends, and like. But here's the thing: I'm curious is they're not making those social connections.
no,
and that's fine for now. But what about when they're 30, or what happens when they're 40 or 50?
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things true about true happiness is meeting a partner,
yeah,
a life partner. Right. And I know I've talked glowingly about it. It's when you meet a partner, and I'm also a wackadoo, man, in that I love kids. Like I would have had more if we had started earlier.
So what you're saying, if you and your wife would be born like in 1891, you ought to have like 20 kids by now.
I at least would have tried.
That's always the fun part, right?
Would have tried for it. But I mean, I always knew I would love being a dad, right? I never knew I would love it this much. Like just seeing them grow and, seeing them stumble and helping them through that process of growing into, in this case, young men. Like it's the best thing in the fucking
So your
world.
oldest is 15, right?
Yeah.
So what skills do you want your 15-year-old kid to have, right? Like me, if I could be 15-year-old again, I would tell myself, learn sales, public speaking, physics, and some kind of coding or some kind of tech stuff.
Honestly, I would say...
And be a good person, of course.
I would say most importantly is being open to fail.
That's a good one. That's a
right?
good one, yeah.
Because everything else comes from that.
Yeah, that's a good
You
one.
can push yourself in any number of innumerable ways and learn and do anything.
That's a damn good one.
If you're open to to failing. And a lot of people, and failure is hard for a lot of people because it's your self-worth, it's your self-being. I can't fail. And I was like, fuck, man, I fail every day.
Like how many people don't even try because they don't want the bad feedback or the criticism?
Right. And that's bullshit because it doesn't matter. It's all noise in the ether, right? Like, go for it. Be open to failing. And I actually tell my boys, like, I think I need you guys to get into more trouble, right? Like, push the envelope.
Yeah.
Your job is to push the envelope, and my job is to keep you safe within that process.
Have you ever watched this movie? I'm sure you have the movie called Project X.
Oh my God.
It's a movie that's back in 2011, 2012, where basically the parents went home and the kid had a party at his house and was completely out of control.
You had me at hello.
It was like had like 2,000 people at the party, people jumping off the roof.
All the stuff.
They drove the BMW to the pool, right? Millions of dollars damn on the news, right? It's supposed to be a true story, right? At the end, the dad was like told the son, like, oh, your school fund is gone, blah, blah, blah. And and the dad like, I gotta tell you something. What? I didn't think you had it in you.
Ah,
I didn't think you had this in you.
good.
You make me you're in trouble, but you make me proud.
Like if they're not pushing the envelope,
Yeah.
they're not.
Maybe not that far, but yeah.
I mean, dude, like, I wouldn't be upset because, like,
I mean, can you imagine, pose your wife on a vacation, right?
yeah,
And suppose your kids are like 17, like 3 years older, right? And you're like, no party, nothing else, right? You came back and you're like, what happened? And your neighbor said, nothing happened. Like, you were like, son, I've never been so disappointed in you. You had the whole weekend and you did nothing.
100%.
Yeah.
I'd be more disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, I was, dude, suspended from school all the time and always pushing the envelope.
Yep.
And the world does better when more people push the envelope, push the expectations, and do the unexpected, than when you abide by all the rules. And that's fine. You can abide by them. We need bookkeepers and
Yeah.
we need all that stuff. But I like the risk takers, man. Like, my risk is the business, and it's, we're not going to change the world
Yeah.
in any material way, but we're going to, like, when people come and tell me, like, oh my God, I reconnected with a long lost friend over a bottle of your bourbon.
Or maybe they close a business deal.
That's right. All of it. And just push the fucking envelope, because you only have so much time. Live a little.
So
Put a little risk on the table.
No good example. So Seattle won Super Bowl. They had the Super Bowl parade here, right? And so the Seattle school director put out, I think all the school directors, Seattle, Tacoma, whatever, put out, missing for the Super Bowl parade is not excuse absence, right? I think, and some parents are like, oh my, you can't miss school. But I've seen so many parents call out. Like, man, that's fucking damn good parenting, right? When you get a chance to see a Super Bowl parade, right?
Yeah.
And it was such a good time. It was 2 blocks from here.
Ah.
So many people, kids everywhere. Like, everyone's day drinking, even kids, people on the fucking line.
Well, obviously,
bikes.
I'm not a fan of kids day drinking.
Obviously not. But like, it's such a good time, right?
21 and over.
Everyone has a good time, right? Like, you gotta do stuff right. So here's a question for you, right? I'm sure this ain't ethical right ever, but how do I put this right? Of course you wouldn't do this right. Like, suppose, is there a way, do people like market to someone who's 20 years old, like, hey, your birthday's in 20 days, here's 10% off my fucking 2 bars, or your birthday's a month away, celebrate with my bourbon, or it's like,
That's funny. No. The risk from a regulatory perspective is so high, but also if you're a 21 and over business, like bourbon or wine or alcohol, you can only market to those that are exactly 21 or over.
okay, so you can't pre-market.
And if people don't have their age set in the account, you can't market to them.
Okay.
So also, I don't think recent 21-year-olds are going to be drinking craft bourbon.
Yeah.
They're, I don't know about you, but when I was that age, I was like, it was not the good stuff.
Yeah. So I joke around sometimes, like my mentors growing up failed me because I drank Jack Daniels too fucking long in my life, right? I probably only started drinking.
Turned out okay.
Yeah, but I only started drinking bourbon maybe 10, 15 years ago, I drank Jack Daniels and Jim being way too fucking long. So I kind of blame my, my mentors,
That's so funny. But, the other thing too is if you're young, you don't have the money for local and
No.
craft.
What's the thing? You put Coke in Jack Daniels for a reason.
Yeah. Although, Jason, I did learn long ago, for a long time, I was a purist, right? Like, oh, this is how you drink my stuff. And then I realized I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Who am I to tell you how to drink my bourbon?
Yeah.
Right? If you buy it, you could drink it with Coke.
Yep.
You could drink it with Dr. Pepper. I don't care. A lemonade.
I need to try that. Fucking bourbon and Jack Pepper.
I probably wouldn't do it myself.
Yeah.
But I my favorite cocktail is like a bourbon with an ice cube.
Yeah. So one time, what's his name? Man, have Anthony Bourdain, right?
Oh, sure.
So one time he was like in Antarctica,
No
right?
reservations. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Antarctica, right? And they had a bottle of bourbon. Like I know one, it's like I know people that drink bourbon this way, no ice, but like I dare you to tell me not to put this $1 million cube of ice.
Oh, yeah.
In here, right?
1,000,000-year-old piece of ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do everything. You don't know, right? Like, I've tried pig's feet and chicken feet. You got to try it all. You never know until you know. Although the one thing, what was it? What was that? The Seahawks were in the playoffs, and do you know the Bagoo egg?
Yeah.
It's
it's basically an unborn duck egg.
Yeah, and it's a fertilized duck egg. And I was at my friend's house to watch the game, and we went to his neighbors, and they had that as a, good luck charm. And I tried it, man. I couldn't do it. I
can't.
But I tried it.
Yeah.
You got to try everything. Life's too you just got to try it all. You don't know.
So I tell this story probably too much on my podcast, but I was in Vietnam one time visiting friends, right? And when I was in Vietnam, somehow I got addicted to goose meat, right? I just love the goose meat, right?
Goose meat.
Goose meat.
Oh, wow.
And so my friend, hey, Jason, you know what? I know you're about to leave. We found a nice goose restaurant. We're going to take you to eat there, right? So we go there, like 10, 15, 20 people, right? I'm looking at the menu. Of course, everything is Vietnamese. I'm like, what's this? Oh, that's goose intestines. Well, I don't want that. Like, Jason, don't knock your try, right? It's very good.
You got to do it. When in Rome.
And so, like, I'm not eating that shit, right? And they bring out the dish out, right? I mean, what's that? That's goose intestines. By that, I had drinking like 8 beers, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, I got to test it, right? Top 5 dishes of all time.
The goose intestines?
Top 5 of all time.
I'm extending my parking.
Okay. It was so good, right? I was just amazed, right? But like you have to try stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
You have to eat everything once. Well, almost
I think
everything.
that's right. I'm just trying to start a new. 866. What's the parking downstairs? Do you know? We're told 86874. 86874. Sorry,
No worries.
just don't want a parking ticket.
That's one thing I do. I play a thing called Parking Street Roulette, and I've actually been losing last couple weeks. And so, if you get a parking ticket, it's actually less to get a parking ticket than paying parking here. So, obviously, I sometimes try to pay pay parking, but sometimes I forget. And some days I get no ticket, I win. And some days I get a parking ticket, right? But it's still less than paying parking in garages,
Really?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. It won't let me add on to it.
Usually it does.
Yeah, 86874. Highlander, start new session. This is funny.
Where did you park it? Like right downstairs?
Down to the right.
Okay.
We'll see.
Another thing, I don't know how true this is, but several people told me, like in Seattle, they don't tow your car or put a boot on it until you have your 5th parking ticket.
Yeah. It's all good, man. That's the benefits of living in or working in Seattle. We live south now, like you do, but not as far south.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Well, I guess we'll risk it.
Yeah. So, a question for you:
Yes, sir.
Buffalo Trace calls you, want to buy you out.
No.
No price, no.
If they call my wife, it's an instantaneous yes. But I don't want to sell.
I mean, what if it's like, what do they call fuck you money? Like, you're 4 generations down, be taken care of.
Okay,
right?
so here's the funny thing about fuck you money, right? If somebody came to me and they said, I want to buy the distillery for $10 million, right?
That's a fucking no.
That's a no.
That's an easy no.
But it's not like materially 100 million or 500 million or a billion is different, right? It's not like my life would change about the same amount, and I'd still say no. I mean, I like building, and I like building this.
But wouldn't you just build something else?
No. I don't have it in me. I put it all on the table, Jason.
All in. Everything's on black, so to speak.
I'm all in. Yeah, I went like this. I'm all in, motherfuckers. And I think it's one of the reasons I'm still here, and a lot aren't. You just gotta go for it. And the amount of energy it took. I mean, when I first started, I was working 7 days a week, like 12-hour days, and I had a newborn, and then I had a second newborn, and I didn't get to see him at all. And I would drive home crying because I was like, why am I missing out
That's
on
tough.
this?
That's people don't. There's always some kind of price to pay, right?
You don't get out of this without paying a price. And I don't have that kind of fucking energy, man. I really like what I do, and starting something from scratch. And here's the other thing: if you had fuck you money, why would you do it again?
Yeah.
I think I would just sit on my ass and waste away, right? So no, fuck no.
How about this? Buffalo Trace comes to you and says, "Okay, you're not gonna. How about this? They offer you this, right? We distribute you. We get 20% of the profit, and it is now it's 2-bar, like bottled by Buffalo Trace.
No.
No, okay,
Yeah. No.
no, okay,
No interest.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I really like the whole aspect of what I'm doing,
Okay.
you know, and you only get one roll of the dice. And if you really like it, why not keep doing it?
How about this one, right? So,
Okay.
I think-
You're going to get me. You're going to find a way to get me.
no. So I think a big challenge now with a lot of boomer businesses, right? A lot of boomer businesses, they want to retire and go do whatever they do, but they build a business. Like one of my kids didn't take it over, right? But none of these kids are taking it over, right? So now these boomers have to figure out how to sell this private equity or keep doing it. Is your plan like pass on to your sons or like
Don't
family
care.
business? Okay.
I have, I don't plan to retire. Maybe work a little bit less, but not retire. Because a lot of people that I know that retire die,
Yeah.
right? You got to keep this active and the body active. But after I'm dead, what the fuck control do I have?
Yeah.
The boys have said they would like it, but they are 15 and 13 and 10 and don't know what they're talking about. Very smart young men, but they have a whole life ahead of them. If they want to do it, that's great. If they don't, that's fine too. I will have no control over it. So whatever happens, happens. But while I'm alive, I'm doing it.
That is, I think I could be wrong, but retirement is pretty much a new concept, right? Like if you're born in 1741, you didn't fucking retire, right?
No, there was no such thing. And remember, Bismarck, Kaiser, only did retirement, but no one lived to 65.
Yeah.
So it was a sham, right? Nobody lived to 65. So we created that at 65 as well. And now everybody's living to like 80. Well, not everybody. Say 70 to 90 or 100. And now everybody's living in retirement. That wasn't a thing.
No.
Like and that's why we're, probably going bankrupt. Like, because we didn't actually anticipate paying out for it.
Because people getting Social Security at 62, they live in the 90s. That's 28 years. We're paying like $2,000 a month times 3-4 million people.
Almost a third of their life, right? That they are not producing. No, half of their productive life.
Yeah.
Because you're not productive in your
and
20s.
they're contributing
20s,
nothing to
till you're-
society, right?
Yeah. So one, I don't plan to retire. What happens to it after my death, I have no control over.
Yeah.
That would be very narcissistic to think I did, right? Whatever they want to do with it, they could fucking blow it on hookers and blow. I don't. It's not. I have no control. Hope they don't.
Have you heard this term called 10 toes up?
Yeah. Well, no.
Basically, you're going to work until you're 10 toes up in the grave.
Oh yeah. That's it. Why not? I mean, I love the stories of the guy who still goes into the office and is an attorney, right?
Yeah.
Or, now if you're working manual labor,
Yeah.
you're not working until you're 10 toes up.
Our body does fucking break down.
Right. It's like why, I have a lot of buddies who work for FedEx or UPS, and they try to retire in 55. But that's because it breaks your body.
Yeah, the wear and tear.
Not good. I do a lot of this, and a lot of this.
Like,
I'll be fine.
Your fingers be like this. Let me get a massage.
This physique could use a little more physical labor, or a lot more.
So we talked about this some earlier, but like, what's the process of like you going to a new place and saying, we'll say there's ABC grocery store
Sure.
in Graham, Washington. What's the process of you or someone going there? Hey, put a product on your shelf.
Yeah, man. It's like I would like to say it's novel and unique and insightful and never been done before. But I go in and I start with the guy stocking the shelves and I go, hey, my name's Nathan Kaiser. I own 2 Bar Spirits. and I start talking to them.
You know what? That's fucking brilliant. I think most people would say, let me Google the CEO of the store, right? That is so fucking brilliant, right? That's so fucking brilliant.
You can, but it's a guy knocking down the shelves.
That's so brilliant.
That
man.
is actually the one talking to the customer.
And how many people don't do that, right? How many people
All
go to
of
CEO? Yeah, that's fucking brilliant as fuck.
I mean, you want the CEO is the easy quote unquote sale, but everybody's targeting the CEO. You know, back to my grandfather and that feed store in Hoheim, Texas. You have to treat everybody well, with respect, and with a smile. You know, and you gotta love meeting them individually. It's hard, it's grinding, but like it's very rewarding.
So you talk about this too, right? Man, I just got a brain lock. Yoakum, Texas. How many people live in Yoakum, Texas?
4,500 and decreasing.
Decreasing.
Yeah.
So besides the country, is Yoakum known for anything or
Leather products.
leather products?
Yeah. So they, oh my gosh, Circle Y, leather products, like very ranch centric,
like cow leather, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, like, saddles and leather around working cattle and rodeoing, and then they also have a lot of ranch wear as well. Yeah.
I think I saw somewhere too where it says like you're a big fan of boots.
I love my boots. Yeah.
Boots.
Ostrich. My ostrich are my favorite. Yeah.
Any like favorite like brand or anything?
No. I mean, I've got them all.
Do you?
I have like 3 pairs, although one, man, getting older, no longer fits. And I was like, how's my foot getting fat? How the fuck did that happen? But yeah.
So you have 3 people working for you. If you were to hire a 4th person, what would that person do? Like, suppose you had to hire a 4th person, right? For whatever reason, right? We were like, I don't know, another production person, social media, marketing, sales, like, if you were to hire a 4th person, what would that be, you think?
That's sorry, you put me on my back foot on that one. I would say more someone to manage our distributor and partner relations.
Okay.
I have nothing against hiring people, but I believe strongly in firing people. Mm-hmm. Not because I like firing people, but
you have to sometimes.
But you gotta, you want the people who work well. I'm willing to train you if you have to be a strong cultural fit. I had a guy come in, and man, he was hot to trot to work for. He wanted to work at 2 Bar. He loved our bourbon. He loved what we did, and I put him right into production. And I said to him, hey man, when you're working this equipment, you have to be very careful. It will kill you. It can maim you if you're not careful. And he kind of had that glint in the eye of a young man who was hot to trot.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I turned my back, and he was cleaning out the mash tun. And in the mash tun, it's a big container, if you will. I'm trying to make it simplified, with a huge paddle going out around inside of it. And that mixes the grain. And if you go the other direction, it forces the grain out of the mash tun so you can clean it out and get ready for the next mash. And you have a wood paddle that you use that you can kind of help guide the grain and clean it out. Well, he kind of was like, sure, you don't know what you're talking about. And he got the paddle stuck between the door and the paddle, the wooden paddle. And the metal paddle it's a 3 horsepower paddle on a 131X reducer. So that's legit horsepower and legit torque. And if he had done it just a little bit further, that wooden paddle could have gotten stuck and caught him. And he would have been fine, but he could have been hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're fired.
Yeah. Instantly, yeah.
And I go, you're fired. And he started bawling. And I said, hey, dude, I get it. I understand you wanted to work here. I wanted you to work out. But I literally just told you what not to do. And I don't give a fuck about the equipment.
Yeah.
Stainless steel can be repaired.
Yeah.
But human bodies,
you don't need that on your conscience.
I just don't want it. It's not acceptable. So we have we have a safety meeting every week, and it's just the 3 of us. But I'm sorry, man, if you don't take that seriously, you're not the right fit.
No.
And it was sad, but I was like, sorry, dude, you got to go.
So how does distribution work? Do you have how does that work? Do you have distribute with different companies? Like, do you
So
like,
we work with distributors in different states, and we have what's called the lily pad approach. So we have different. We don't have one distributor in all of our states. We have multiple different distributor in almost all of the states. So because of our size, we don't have the power or the sway to say, "Hey, big distributor, you need to pick up our shit." We're like, "Hey, little distributor, can you please pick up our shit?" Right? And then it's building relationship with them. So we are with like Columbia in Washington. We are with Action in Nevada, and we're with let me see which Wine and Spirits in Arizona, right? Like Action in Arizona and Franco in
and these like
Nevada.
month-to-month contracts? Like, how do you
There's
pay
no
them?
contracts.
Like, how do these people get paid? Like, on how many barrels they ship out, or like?
No, they like there's no contracts.
Okay.
You go, hey, distributor partner, A, B, C, D. We have these partners that want to buy it on the other retail chains or on premise of bars and restaurants. And then they buy from me, the distributor, and then they resell to the bars and restaurants.
Okay.
They usually get paid in Washington COD, that time of delivery. In other states, they get paid net 30. And then we usually get paid net 30.
So I guess that's the wrong question. Not just but like, I'll make this up. How does it work? Like, you have like 20 barrels of bourbon, 10,000 bottles of bourbon to sell.
Yeah.
Like, how does it work as far as the company that actually picks it up in the truck and delivers it to places? How does that work?
Yeah, well, pre-COVID, we were able to do a thing where we're like, hey, distributor partners, we are bottling on these dates. If you want any, you let me know now, and I'll make sure to bottle it. But post-COVID, we now have to bottle before we get a purchase order. So we have to sit on a lot more inventory because the distributors aren't holding any inventory. And so what we'll do is, we're like, hey, we're bottling. And then we get a PO from, say, like Vintage Wine and Spirits in the Northwest or Action in Arizona, what have you. And then we ship that product, or they ship the product to themselves. They pay for it. And then we try to frantically put more into bottles and then wait for another PO.
So talk about this real fast.
The bitters?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun. You like, what else you have? You're like Mary Poppins with her handbag. What else you got in there? So the bitters, that's a fun project. Spinnaker wine or Spinnaker chocolates uses our 100 proof bourbon to make their bourbon chocolate. And they age their cacao beans in our bourbon. When they're done with that, we get the bourbon kind of cacao nibs back. And then Sony, who, as I was talking about earlier, makes bitters out of it. So this is a little sample bottle that we did. And super delicious. And I think the only one that's actually like full on chocolate and
It's so chocolatey.
dude, it's crazy. I love it. And that's where you just don't know. Oh yeah, that's good. There you go. You got to save that for yourself.
Yes.
Like a little drop or two of that in an old fashioned is just the bomb.
What's your favorite drink to make with 2-bar?
2-bar. I like to do a lot. I really, it changes with the seasons, right? Like, one of my favorite now is, I love a Bouvardier, which is, a Negroni, but with a bourbon because we're adults. Screw that gin stuff. And then also I've been doing like a weird one. I'm always like playing at home. My favorite now is I do 2 ounces of our wine barrel finished. 1 ounce of our straight bourbon whiskey, kind of the flagship. And then I do about a 1/4 ounce of Amaro and then a little cherry on top. And it's the poor man's Manhattan, if you will. It's just a super easy cocktail that has a little more depth and flavor to it. And that's what I do when the kids are successfully asleep or quietly reading books or doing whatever in their rooms.
So what lessons do you want your kids to learn from you being an entrepreneur?
Don't do it. To be honest, it's just like, don't let the world tell you no. Outgrind everybody else. My oldest, all my children are in sports. They're not like super into sports, but they do a number of things. And I told them, and I was like, look, I don't care how well you do on that court, whether it's tennis or basketball or lacrosse, or they do ninja, if you remember with Ninja, American Ninja Warrior. It's kind of fun. But I want you to outwork every other kid on that out there. I don't care what happens. I want you first on the court, last off the court, and I want you to out hustle everybody else. And I want like my oldest got mad because he goes, his stupid award for tennis was he always picked up. He was always the last one picking up balls, after practice. And I know it sounds silly, buddy, but the coach notices, and an employee or employer, will notice if you're outworking everybody else, because you can't fake that. And you're not going to be the smartest kid out there. You're not going to be the most athletic kid out there, but you can have the most heart out there, and that's on you.
Yeah, I tell people like, no matter what you're doing, there's somebody smarter than you, more talented than you, more resources than you, but you control your effort, right?
That's right.
You control what you do.
That's it. That's all you can control. And these kids are good. I have all their buddies, all their friends are great kids, but my kids will generally out hustle them.
I know a lot of like people like kind of shit on like the current generations.
No, they're awesome.
But my thing is like, so I had this lady on the podcast maybe 2 or 3 months ago, Eleanor, right? So she came on the podcast. So last year she won a bronze medal in kayaking, World Kayaking Championship. On the podcast, she had just graduated from the University of Washington and got to the University of Washington Law School.
Wow.
It gets better. She turned 19 the next week.
Fuck.
And it gets better.
I'm a loser.
It gets better. Since 15, she runs a business in Kirkland. Every lifeguard in Kirkland Apartments works for her.
Oh my God.
And what's crazy? She's first. She's fucking behind.
Yeah.
She's first. So she's a failure. Like she's not doing like I'm not where I need to be.
Yeah. That's a tough one because she's obviously crushing and doing well.
Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me right now?
But I mean, I think that's the question is that the right mindset? Mm-hmm. And to a degree, it is.
It is, yeah.
But not always.
Yeah.
You have to be able to celebrate your successes, but know that they're fleeting and they're behind you.
That's one of my like faults, whatever. Like, suppose you give me 10 things to do. I do 9 great. I do the 10. That's average, not fail. I'd always destroy myself, right? So I always have that balance act, right? I've been better, but like.
Well, we all think we're failures, though, right? But the other thing too is 10 is a lot. I try to set 3 things.
I mean, generally.
No, I know, of course. But like, what are the 3 things I need to do today to move it forward? Because 3 is like both a stretch, and if they're real things, they're a stretch, but they're generally achievable.
Yeah, but so many people, young, older, that's doing fucking great things, right?
Well, dude, you nailed it. I mean, like, there are people out there who are just fucking geniuses and gifted, or even outwork everybody else.
Yep.
And you just got to be happy in your own skin too at the same time, right?
What's that thing? Comparison is a thief of joy, or something like that.
Oh, that's a good line. Yeah, I think that's right. You just got to live your own life. You got to do better. And, holding other people in comparison is good, but it's also deadly.
Another thing, too, like, if you compare to someone else.
Well, I'm at the age now, by the way, when, like, presidents and VPs are younger than me, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like,
how did I get so old?
like, man, I'm not VP of the United States. I fucking failed in my life. What's wrong with me?
How am I such a loser? And then I realized, like, I'm not doing too bad.
No. I mean, yeah, you got to. The other 2 people mess up, too, they compare themselves to somewhere else. Like, like for me, I have a podcast, but I'm not Joe Rogan. Like, when Joe Rogan started, he was motherfucking Joe Rogan, right?
Yeah.
UFC Joe Rogan, Fear Factor Joe Rogan, right?
But you can't compare to the outliers.
No.
You have to be just accepting and happy with yourself.
Yep.
But also, you also have to kind of not be happy with yourself too.
Yeah, it is some kind of drive. You can't be complacent.
It's a balancing act,
And I think so many of us get it wrong, right? I mean,
or maybe most people don't even try.
That's a good thing too. Yeah.
You got to work it. But that goes back to out grinding.
Here's one for you. So this is my theory again, right? I think there's like 20% of us in the world like actually try to do stuff, right? We're trying to make the world better. We try to improve stuff. 80% of us are like, I work 9 to 5. I watch Netflix. I'm just doing what I do, right? I think there's too few of us actually trying to make the world better or trying to like do stuff, I think too many of us are like dissatisfied.
I would push back.
Scoot up some?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I would push back. I don't think you're wrong on the merits, but I would say that I generally feel most people are trying to live their best life, right? Like, and that may not be our path. Like, you're an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur, but like, I have a friend of mine, and he just retired at 50, and he's spending a lot of time with his kid, and like, I don't know,
But he's 50 though, right?
he's got a whole life
I'm
ahead of him.
talking about people like 20, 30, 40.
But I just don't know if I could judge them negatively. If I'm judging them, it's from my boots, my shoes. But like what I've learned too is that the shit other people have seen or been through,
Yeah, that's true.
right? Like, and I'm not trying to be politically correct here. It's just you never know anybody's story.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I am amazed. You meet somebody and you're like, this fucker is a goddamn loser. And then you realize, he was his parents died in a car crash. And you're just like, oh, fuck. I have nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So someone did a post on X a couple of days ago, right? And it's this theory. I can remember the name of the theory, right? And the person she basically said, hey, everyone's in a bubble. Don't think about stuff, right? You see the picture of an intersection, right? One car said, on the way to the hospital, had their baby.
Yeah.
Another car was like, just got laid off. Another car, like there's 50 people doing 50 different things on the old road, right?
Yeah.
There's a concept is called, I can't think what it is, right? Like, oh shit, that's pretty fucking damn cool.
Everybody's trying their best to live their own life in either, they may or may not have the skills necessary. But I think most people are trying.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I do. I think most people are trying, yeah.
But I was working at a company, and I had a guy working for me, and he was like, well, I want a promotion. I've been here the longest. And I was like, that's not
It doesn't work like that.
Well, that's not how that works, but he wanted the title. And then I realized, and this guy crushed his job. He owned it, and he crushed it. And I was a very naive young man, and I was like, hey, if you want the title, you got to do all this stuff. And I realized he actually didn't want the title. He just wanted some recognition for doing his job well.
Yeah.
And he owned it. I mean, nobody did it better. And it was like my idea of success overlaying on him was not accurate and not real. And not everybody, like some people just want to go in, clock in, clock out, and go watch baseball.
Everyone has different levels of definition of success, yeah.
Or definition of happiness.
Yeah.
And that was Jason, that was a really hard realization that not everybody was like me,
Yeah, I had to learn that lesson too. Talk about the importance of storytelling for your company.
It's one of the, I could talk to you for hours about the mash bill, the grain that goes in it, the process of making it, and nobody fucking cares. I mean, it's important. It's really important, but the why, the story behind it, the reason I have put my blood, sweat, and treasure into this thing is the why, right? It's that heritage and that history, of my family members that came before me and paying homage to that. That's the only thing that people remember. When I had just opened, not just opened, but I was a year or two in, and it was brutal. The sales weren't happening. My costs were escalating. The business was on the precipice of failure. And I meet this lady what was the story here? So I meet this lady at a tasting, a random, one of the community events that they do all over. And she goes, oh, 2 Bar, that's the ranch, right? And I was like, oh, we're going to be fine. Now, it hasn't been super easy since, but, that had a resonance with people that mattered, right? And the other example I have is really quite moving. I think this is a little fucking meta, but Americans have lost their sense of place, right? And I had this lady come in, and her and her husband, and they were doing a tasting. And it was a Saturday, and she looks at the photo. There's a great photo of my grandfather holding my father as a toddler on the ranch. And she goes, we used to have a place, like it was a grandmother's homestead and they sold it and now they don't have a family and now the family's dispersed and not as engaged with one another as they used to. And like we're losing that, right? And Americans are amazing because we come from all over, but we have a history and a family heritage that is important. And one doesn't make anybody better than the other, Frank, I think, right? Like who am I to whether say my family heritage and history is better than yours? It's not, right? But it's different. And it's meant to be celebrated. And people are losing those places. They're losing the old homestead in Nebraska. They're losing the house in upstate New York or in Queens, right? Like that heritage of where we're coming from and that connection with those that came before us is dissolving in front of our eyes for a lot of reasons. And the fact that I'm doing this for that reason really fucking resonated with people because they get it, right? I don't know if the cameras can't see, but do you see any calluses on these hands, Jason? No. My grandfather would always grab my hands. He's like, those are city boy hands, right? And he was right. But this is my homage to that hardship and that legacy, and that is the story, and that's the why, and it resonates.
So back to your storytelling, right? Where you do stuff like the reason for it, right? So my first post-army job, I was an HR manager for a seafood plant in Alaska for Trident Seafoods, right? And so I started doing orientation, right? In my slides, so I did this orientation slide, and I asked them, like, what is that you do here? People are like, oh, we slaughter fish, we kill fish, blah, blah, blah. And I put up a picture of a family having a fish dinner. No,
Family.
You allow people to have nice fish dinners, right? What you do here, you might say slaughter fish, whatever, but at the end of the day,
that's irrelevant.
They have a nice fish dinner, right? And then like they're like, oh shit, and their like mindset kind of changed, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it, right? It's like you were asking earlier, and I said, we're about community. We're about you having a whiskey with your buddy who haven't seen in 5 to 10 years and like reconnecting like no time has passed at all. That's what it's about. Or like when I have a drink at night when the kids are asleep, my wife's up in bed reading and I just have a drink next to the fireplace and it's just me to celebrate the day.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. It's not about alcohol and it's not about bourbon per se. That's just our mechanism, right? That's the way we get there. But it's about just celebrating a moment in time that can never be replicated.
So let's suppose someone's 26, 27, 20, whatever case it be. They never drunk bourbon. What's your advice to them? Like,
start drinking fucking bourbon. I got kids to feed,
especially 2-bar.
Well, I would say 2-bar because one, it's delicious. It's got this heritage and this history that you can enjoy. It's approachable, and you'll just enjoy it. And hopefully you'll enjoy it with friends and family.
But how is someone like I said, I drink Jack Daniels so long, right?
Nobody's perfect.
Like, how should people approach drinking bourbon? Like how this would be not a lesson plan, how, because
slowly in moderation,
okay,
right? I always I get people in and they don't drink bourbon, but they're with friends and family that do, and then they drink it and they go into the theatrics. And I was like, well, yeah, what did you expect? You like soda pop, but we're adults here. And joking around, but I try it slowly, start at a lower ABV, the 80 proof, 40% alcohol by volume. It's the right way to do it. And then go from there, but try it, take a sip, acclimate, and then take a second sip, see what you enjoy, and then start talking to your friends about old stories, and you're going to be fine.
So talk about a time you were drinking 2-bar with a group of friends. You just like, man, I'm having a good time. I'm just like fucking chilling out. I'm like,
too good a time. Yeah. So I've been doing a thing at the house. I've been doing a fire pit. So we have a fire pit at our house, and I've been bringing in a number of the dads together, and it's like every 4 to 6 weeks, right? And a lot of time, dude, these guys don't get a chance to go out with their buddies. And we have a cigar, not everybody's allowed a cigar. Some of the wives won't allow it, which is fine. Mine is like, go for it, honey. Just don't get it. You're not getting a kiss tonight.
Yeah.
But it's just, and it's just sharing stories, talking about being a dad, raising kids, running businesses or not, or being a part of a business. And like, We did one about 3 weeks ago. I'll do one again in about probably 2 to 4 weeks. I'm traveling coming up, and fuck, man, I look forward to it. Just being with the guys, talking about shit. Having fun, and people get deep. I've learned shit about people's lives and experiences that have humbled me. The things that they've been through.
So talk about this. You might not want to talk about this, but you told me a story one time where you met, where like you had some kids and parents at your house. And you told some kids something, and the other dad was like, "Oh, I wish I could do that." You're like, "Motherfucker, you're the dad. You can't do that."
Oh yeah. So we had a 4th of July party at our house, and we have a rule at our house that there's no cell phones for the kids. And one of these guys that I haven't talked to in a long time, and we reconnected, and he came over and joined the party. It was for my 50th, I think. Might have been 4th of July. I don't quite remember. I always take the kids' phones away. And I took his 2 boys' phones away, and they had a friend, a lady with them, and I took all their phones, and I gave them to the dad. He goes, "I wish I could do that." And I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're the goddamn parent, dude. Like, what's the dumbest thing I've ever heard?" And
I'll get in trouble for this, but that sounds like the most Seattleist thing I've ever heard in my life.
it was. And, here's the crazy thing. These kids were on their phones the whole time they were there until I noticed, took it away. And then they were engaging with them amongst each other and with all the other kids and even some of the adults. And, like, they don't want the fucking phones.
Yeah.
I don't want my phone. It's a goddamn dopamine receptor that fires, and I'm not strong enough. And like, so we've been working on one, the phone goes away, not at the table when we're eating as a family. I try to keep it. I'm not on the phone unless it's a phone call. But what the fuck do I care what's going on social media and what other people are eating? Like, live in the now and enjoy it. Anyway, I'm not perfect.
To me, that's the true definition if you're a narcissist.
Interesting.
If you're posting pictures of what you ate, to me, you're a fucking narcissist, right? Like, who gives a fuck you ate fucking spaghetti, whatever?
Nobody cares. And I'm on Facebook once a day to check whose birthday it is, so I can send them a birthday note. But other than that, like, I'm not on Facebook. I'm on Snapchat because my son just earned the right to get on it because all of his buddies are on it.
Yeah.
I fucking don't understand it. I am so out of my depth. Like, you got a double tap, single tap, side swipe. What the fuck is going on? And I just don't care. And Twitter I use for news. And other than that, I just hate it all. Like, we should go back to, like, the teletype or something. I don't know.
I hate Facebook. I would give credit for Facebook. One thing, I reconnect with so many people from the past because of Facebook. So I give it credit for that, right? So many old friends.
I just don't even like any of those people.
No,
I'm joking. No, there's a value, but it's a slippery slope of, when the kids are all like this, all the time, or now we're battling because my kids have phones, but they don't have any social media except for my 15-year-old who got the Snapchat. Is they want to have headphones on listening to music the whole time.
Yeah, that drives me batshit crazy too.
And so we now instituted you can only have one ear in at a time, and it can't be, there's nothing when we're doing things as a group.
Yeah.
But if you want to listen to a book on tape, that's a tough one, right? It's a tough one.
Yeah.
We're learning and we're adapting as a day by day, hour by hour, sometimes minute by minute.
Here's one for you. Like, we were talking about earlier, something like how far tech has advanced, right? Can you think about, remember the game Pong?
Yeah.
We've gone from Pong.
That was a big deal when I was a kid.
We've gone from Pong to AI robots doing everything, right? In like 50 years.
Well, they're not really doing shit, though, right?
I mean, they are pretty soon, supposedly.
I don't know. I don't think, like, what is it? AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, is anywhere close. But I don't know, man. I fucking mill grain, right? Yeah. I don't know. Technology was always crazy. I mean, I remember I don't know. How old are you, Jason?
58.
58. So we're in the same range. I mean, I remember having the wall phone and like a 20-foot cord so I could go talk to my friends in the closet, which is ironic. Right? So no one could hear what we were talking about. And it wasn't even that important.
No.
And now, they're just off on their own doing their own thing. So technology has been a battle we're all been working with.
Does tech affect your business at all?
No.
Not really.
I mean, It does, and it how okay. So I don't think it does because we're pretty traditional, in that we make it all ourselves and do everything ourselves. It can be involved if you're sourcing it and finding best. Like most bourbon that you're buying out there is sourced from someone else.
Yeah.
Like we're very unique in that we make it from scratch, aka really dumb, because it's hard and it takes time. But tech allows you to do a lot of things like that. But on a fun note, I've had a number of guys come to me like, Nathan, we've cracked the problem. We've cracked the solution. We've solved it. And I was like, what the fuck are you even talking about? Well, we can now age bourbon in 15 minutes. It tastes like 8-year bourbon. What are you talking about, you idiots?
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, no, we've done it. It's so good. It's delicious. And then they're out of business within a year.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants the workaround. Nobody wants the cheap shit. Everyone authenticity.
You want the story.
They want authenticity and the story.
Yeah.
Right?
Both,
if I came to you and I said, hey, look, this 2-bar shit, it comes in the names from my family's ranch and this history and this heritage that we're celebrating, and I'm buying my shit from the cheapest bidder.
And so many people do that shit.
I know.
I recently learned that. I've watched a lot of bourbon podcasts recently. I just recently learned like there's so many
it's all bullshit.
I can't remember. There's some bourbon out of Iowa. They're like Iowa Prohibition, but they actually make it out of Indiana, like all kind of crazy shit.
I have no problem with you doing that, but just be forthright about it.
Tell the truth, yeah.
Right? And like, it would have been a smarter business decision for me to source all of my bourbon and to rebrand it because it's a lot fucking easier. But if you're in this game for the long term and playing the long game and you want to be authentic, that's not an option. So
you said you're in, I think, 20 states?
Yeah.
What's your next state you want to go to?
All of them.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny. People ask, like, what's your go-to-market strategy? Who's your key demographic? And what is your psychographic? And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I like people who drink bourbon. And that is male, it's female, it's 21 to death, right? Who am I to know who the customer is, right? I've tried understanding it and knowing it. But it's so different, right? Like it could be a 25-year-old kid who read a single article about bourbon and learned about 2-bar. What I've also learned, it's also 65-year-old ladies who like get together and they go, it's a 2-bar kind of night. That's what they call it. And they have a lot of fun together. Also, exceptionally hilarious and very naughty conversations and jokes, right? The most raunchy jokes I've ever heard were from 65, 70-year-old women who've seen some shit and were started drinking bourbon.
Yeah. Another random fact. What demographic do you think has the highest STD rate?
Elderly. In the nursing homes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they're like,
I can't get pregnant.
No, and they can have fun, right?
Yeah. So
they may not remember.
Good story for you. So I have a good friend, Josh Kotoff, right? He's 33 now. And
he's a youngin'.
Yeah. So he didn't start drinking until he was 25. His very first drink, he grew up in Hollywood, right? Doing like stuff in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's a Hollywood party. Had drunk before. Drew Carey came with a bunch of bourbon and just passed them out. So his very first drink was a high quality bourbon with Drew Carey.
Wow. That's kind of cool.
So he's never drunk Jack Daniels, Jim Beam. So he's only drunk high quality stuff.
Does he remember what the bourbon was?
He told me what it was. I can't remember what it was.
All right.
But it was like, it was.
That's funny. So that was only 8 years ago. Could have been 2-bar.
Yeah.
And we were around.
And he was
Probably
like, yeah. Not. And he's like, yeah, actually, it's a fucking, he's like, dude, you two gonna be a fucking bourbon snob.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to go down that route. And, people are like, well, bourbon snobs. And I was like, I don't care. Just drink the bourbon. Enjoy the bourbon and in moderation.
Have you ever been to this bar called Cannon in Capitol Hill?
Oh, for sure.
I need to go. I haven't been there yet.
Jamie was the founder.
Everyone tells me it's a great place to go.
He's a great guy. Worked his ass off. Created one of the largest bourbon libraries in the country, and it's not a big place.
Yeah,
and you talk about having a vision and executing on it, and also a lot of people gave him shit for it.
Yeah,
but a lot of people give anybody who's trying to create something shit. I don't know why. I have theories, but if the people are giving you shit, you might be onto something.
That might be an indicator, right?
Yeah, that means you need to keep doing what you're doing.
Might be an indicator. So has there been a time during this whole 2-bar process where like you're like, man, I gotta shut it down. I'm like, this is.
I mean, there's times, man, it's just when it's so hard when customers aren't paying you and you got to make payroll and all those things. But it's not a fucking option. You know? I mean, there's been so many times that we were maybe not close to closing or we were close to closing, but, you know, you just fucking find it your way through. And Maddie, who's our head distiller, she always says to me, Nathan, you always do your best work when your back is up against the wall. Okay. And I was like, why is that? Why do I have to have it in that situation? But, you know, mother of all necessity, right? And you find a way no matter what, or you don't.
So why did you pick Soto of all the places?
I thought it would be close enough to Seattle to get a lot more foot traffic. But it doesn't. Nobody comes to Soto, and I don't blame them, right? Like I worked there now for a long time. There's an issue too with Soto. Like one of my biggest mistakes that I've made is that I'm located in Soto because I'm paying Seattle level rents, but not getting a lot of foot traffic. And I realized right then that I had to be in wholesale very strongly because I had to be where the customer was. The customer was not going to come to me. You know, the old axiom, location matters. And Soto, while being great for getting products in and getting products out, because we're close to 3 freeways, I-5, 90, and 99, is not a great place to manufacture whiskey because I'm sitting on whiskey there that's aging for 4+ years and paying Seattle level rents on it. Fuck. Yeah, it's super dumb.
How do you take care of yourself?
I drink a lot. No. Dude, I mean, I play sports. I swim a lot. I spend a lot of time with the family, the boys. That's really rejuvenating for me. You know, hit 50 and man, the pounds don't come off like they used to. I used to be like, I need to go on a diet and I would lose all the weight. Now I'm like, I need to go on a diet and I gained 10 pounds. I was like, this sucks. Definitely middle age.
Yeah, no doubt. So how do you do your schedule? Like, are you like a calendar person? You wing stuff? Like, how do you
Everything has
stuff?
to be on the calendar.
Okay.
Otherwise, I forget about it. Middle age.
Yeah. Like, my wife will ask me, what are you doing tomorrow? I got to my calendar. Like, you don't know what you're doing tomorrow? No, I don't.
I'll know in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, what I'm trying to do now, like, is look at it the night before.
Yeah.
But mostly it's that morning, like what's going on and stuff. I did, obviously, I was looking forward to this, so I was remembering it last week, or looking at it, and like, okay, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to, discuss? But
yeah. So, how do you prioritize stuff week to week?
Poorly.
I mean, I think most people they prioritize like 5 things. And
I try to, yeah.
And they do things 5 instead of number 1.
I have 3 things in my world that matter to me, right? And it's very simple, Jason. It's my wife, my children, and purchase orders. Right? And like people laugh because 1, I think it's pretty funny, but 2, my life is organized in that priority because she owns half of the business, but also I love her dearly, right? 20 years, I look forward to the next 20 years. My kids, because they are just amazing. And then POs, because it's a fucking hobby without purchase orders.
Yeah, yeah. What's the best way to improve business is to do more sales?
If your problem is always revenue driven, you're doing it right. If your problems are we're losing money on every sale, but we'll make it up in volume, then you're dead man walking.
Okay. Any advice for new entrepreneurs, regardless of what they're doing?
Don't do it.
Don't do it, obviously.
And then if you do it, burn the goddamn boats and go full bore and don't look back.
Like go all out, go all in.
There's no other option. It's so goddamn competitive out there. If you try to half-ass anything, people will know, and you won't give it the effort it's due.
What kind of skills do you think are important to be a successful entrepreneur?
Don't be too skilled in any one thing, and don't think you know anything. Right? I mean, I always thought I was good at sales. Nope, turns out I'm an idiot. So I always thought I was good at operations. Nope, turns out I was an idiot. But what I am good at is maintaining the vision and sticking to the core goals, which is keep it simple and don't deviate from that, right? Like why we just do bourbon and that's it, right? I mean, we do the bitters, but that's for shits and giggles, right? It's super fun. It's an opportunity. We don't expect any real revenue from it. We just make bourbon. Like I should have named it the distillery 2 Bar Bourbon Distillery. I named it 2 Bar Spirits, but we just make bourbon. That's all we do. It's just bourbon, 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 bourbon. I wake up in the morning, bourbon, 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 bourbon.
What's fun about being an entrepreneur?
The challenges. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be dealing with day to day, regardless of what's on the calendar. You know, like, you know, this morning I was like, hey, you guys owe me money. Where's my money? We're working on it. Okay. That was not on the anticipated goals for today. Or tomorrow it's like, oh, those barrels were lost in shipping. How do you lose barrels in shipping, right?
They're pretty fucking big.
That did not happen, but you know, you never know what today's problem is. And if you like chaos, and I adore chaos, entrepreneurship is good.
How has your problem solving skills gotten better through the years?
Roll with the punches better. You know, you don't overreact. Right. And I think too, being a parent too, like, you know, well, like it sounds silly, but if a kid breaks a bowl, when I was younger, I probably would have lost my fucking shit. And now I go, hey, let's clean it up.
It's just a fucking bowl.
It's just a fucking bowl. Right. Or like we have issues with corks. It's just a fucking cork. No. And my common refrain is nobody dies. Right. It's okay.
Yeah.
These are all solvable problems.
We're not transporting nuclear radioactive stuff, you know.
We're not solving for world peace here,
No.
you know, and we need to keep that in mind.
Let's talk about this. Talk about the details real fast. Like, talk about the details of deciding the wood for this cork, the details of what type of glass this is, like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that a lot has to go into that. Packaging is everything because you have, what, 3 millionth of a second when somebody looks. So on our packaging, like the label is the logo, the 2 bars. So we want it to be able to stand out on a shelf. And so at least to make an imprint on you, if we have a fraction of a second, we want it clear and legible. We wanted the tamper seal to be clearly
Turn towards the camera.
Oh yeah, the tamper seal to be clearly reflective of the product type. So we have 4 different tamper seals, 1 for each. And then we wanted the cork or the enclosure here to be just wood. To be kind of harken back to the old school ranch and the oak days.
How about the black label thing right there?
That's a little more premium.
No, up to the top.
Yeah, that's the tamper seal.
Okay.
So that kind of matches, and like the bottle and bond is black.
Okay.
The amaretto barrel finish is brown. The wine barrel is like reddish pink or reddish purple, and then the flagship is clear.
Okay.
So
I'm sure a lot of thought processes went through there.
It's been more iterative.
Yeah,
you know. 2 steps forward.
And you do this by yourself? You brought like a design team to help you, or just all your own stuff?
I have a designer that I have, but she's not full time.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't need full time designers, right? And also, we don't do case studies. We don't do, you know,
talk about your signatures on the back. That's pretty cool.
Okay, so that was fun.
I just noticed that. Yeah.
All right, so this is gonna be goofy, but it's the N and the K for Nathan Kaiser, and it's the single star of Texas.
Oh shit! Nice.
Nobody knows that, but I love it.
That's nice right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't see.
Well, you know, the stars at night shine so bright deep in the heart of Texas.
I don't people realize how much thought and details go into the packaging, right? The UX design, all that kind of stuff.
Whether it's as simple here as a 1792, right, and then you have the embossed necker, and then the beautiful tamper seal, right, like in everything, like there's a lot of money that went into this label.
Oh yeah,
this gold like the gold label here.
A lot of thought process, a lot of money, a lot of detail. Yeah.
And then the bottle you shared with me, the Fred's.
Frank August.
Thank you, Frank August. Like, we'll make an impact with that one. Sorry about your $700, $2,000 thing, but just the enclosure here, that is crazy expensive. Solid metal. I think it's probably a brass aluminum alloy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's not going to tarnish. And then you have the injection actual cork. This is probably like $2 to $3. The bottle is a custom bottle. which I'm guessing is probably like $1.50 to $2. Then they have the label, the clear label here, and this is actually on the screen printed onto the glass. That's another 50 cents. This is an expensive bottle.
Yeah.
It's really cool though.
Yeah.
So I'll try not to hit anything with it.
Of course, yeah.
Like the game of Clue, right? The bourbon bottle.
Yes.
In the studio.
Yes.
That's where he was killed.
So you said there used to be like 5,000 distilleries here, and then they're down to 3,000.
10-ish
10-ish.
thousand, and we've lost like about 30% in the last year.
Well, why do you think
California lost 45% of their
just higher
distilleries.
taxes?
It's just fucking hard.
Or just people not being good business people?
I think it's all the reasons.
All the reasons, yeah.
I mean, so I'm a schmuck, right? Like I'm on the level, I'm authentic, and I'm trying my best. But I'm a small craft distillery located in Seattle, Washington, right? We are all going after these buyers, and if you're a buyer for any of these large retail chains, you're getting approached by 10,000 schmucks like me trying to get you to put our product on their shelf, whether it could be gin, vodka, aperitifs, digestifs, whiskey of all sorts, right? It's hard. Yeah. And how do you get heard above the fray? But this is every business.
Yeah.
Right? How do you get the attention and how do you get the sale when others don't?
Do you ever go to like any like I want to say like dive bars to put your stuff in dive bars and places like that, or is it strictly like stores like Trader Joe's?
I want to be everywhere. I don't know where the end consumer is going to be. Right? We have success in dive bars. We also have success in white glove bars and restaurants, or white glove restaurants. Right? But we don't have success in all white glove restaurants or all dive bars. Yeah. But you got to try everywhere, and I'll go door to door, slam door, face my face. Go to the next one. You don't know.
So how do you value your time up, like week to week or month to month? Do you pose this like we'll say it's April 1st. You say, okay, month April, I'm gonna spend 30% working on the product, 20% working on sales, 10%
mostly
working
sales. Mostly my job is sales.
Okay.
Yeah, and then operations and barrels, buying barrels and grain.
But mainly you focus on sales.
Yeah, because every business, I think a lot of entrepreneurs like the making, right?
Yeah.
And that's great, but it's not a business unless people buy it. And a lot of people like, wineries and small breweries and small distilleries, they like the making of the craftsmanship. And that's so important, but you got to sell it.
Yeah.
That's why I say my wife, my kids, and purchase orders.
I think Mark Cuban said Mark Cuban always said sales kills all, something like that.
Yeah. He's 100% right. Sales is the only determinant of your success or failure in business.
How do you do this, right? I probably should don't do this. Like, suppose I'll use Trader Joe's. Suppose Trader Joe's said, hey, we're buying 10,000 bottles per month, right?
I wish.
we'll buy 20,000, but cut the price by 35%.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Done.
Okay.
Volume, baby.
Because some business are like, oh no, my price point's my price point. I'm not going down.
Sure, of course. I mean, I think you have your limitations, and sometimes you can't meet that price. But ultimately, you have to be what the customer can afford, right? I think one of the reasons we're doing well is that our whiskey is affordable. It's all it's obviously, I think it's really good. It's made really well. It's all authentic. It's got a great brand, but it's also got to be affordable. So you can't, you can sell, like I've had a number of guys tell me, oh my God, I'm like the margin on my bourbon that's selling for $150 is huge. And I go, no shit, Sherlock. But how many people buy it? One?
Yeah.
Good job that you made $145. That's not a business.
No. You ever thought, so what would have to happen for you to raise your price?
Probably nothing.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if the world changed and like glass went high and corn went high, but we've been.
You're not gonna raise your price just to raise your price.
No.
Okay.
If anything, I would love to we can't. The 80 proof is pretty affordable, right? Like that. we're competing with top tier brands
Yeah.
at that price point.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to go too much. I don't want to go lower because then you're not seen as you're seen as a value.
You don't want to be seen.
product.
You don't want to be seen as like cheapest out there. I don't think.
No, you don't want to be the the Canadian Hunter.
Yeah,
in
you
the
don't.
plastic
You don't want to be the
bottle.
Canadian Mist of fucking bourbon.
No, you don't. But you have to compete in the range where people are able to buy it and want to buy it. And what we did was over time, as we got bigger and got more efficient, we passed those savings on to the consumer. I mean, my first bottle of bourbon was a 375, right? A half of this was at 50 fucking bucks.
Yeah.
That's a lot for a 375, but we were novel. We were new. We were the only ones doing what we were doing. And, we're a lot less expensive now because we're able to do that affordably and we're able to do it profitably.
This is a messed up question, but would you ever like do any partnerships with any other kind of bourbon brands? Does that makes any sense?
No, I mean, maybe it just depends, man. Never say no because I don't know what's going to look like. I don't plan to sell it. And if someone we sell our barrels to others who make their whiskeys out of it. And like the guy in Sons of Vancouver they make a single malt and they won best single malt whiskey in Canada using our barrels. We do that all the time. But what would I do with a partnership?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah,
Maybe. I mean, I'll talk to everybody, but probably not.
yeah. So define success for yourself.
Keep doing what I'm doing in perpetuity and making money doing it and making bourbon. Very simple. And also if we grow at 15 to 30% per year, that's perfect. Compounding, you're crushing.
What's something about growing up in the ranch that you miss?
My grandfather.
Yeah,
I mean, and my grandmother.
yeah,
I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't wish I could call them.
yeah. I was so close to my grandparents too, man. I still miss them a lot. Yeah,
I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
This whole they die thing.
yeah.
Good. Look at you, Debbie fucking Downer over here. No, but I didn't know my grandpa, my mom's parents. I knew my grandma, and she was just fucking awesome.
Yeah,
But my grandpa died when I was like 8, very young. I'd go see him in the nursing home, and he had the tracheotomy. Hello.
yeah. My grandparents died when I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah. So you're very similar.
Yeah.
But my grandfather lived to see all 3 of my children. My grandma died in 99 from lung cancer. My grandma died in 03. And fuck me, man, I miss them every day.
Yeah, like one of my fondest memories is so my grandparents lived in a small town called Medina, Texas, right? Small ass country town.
Where was it?
Medina, Texas.
Medina, okay.
Yeah. And so I would go there for summers. Actually, I lived with my grandparents from 0 to 5. We go to summer. Every day I would walk with my grandmother from the house to the post office.
Oh.
And take a man, go from post office to the store. And she was like, what do you want? Always like orange soda and fucking Starburst.
Sure.
Yeah. So fond memories. Yeah. So not to talk about death or whatever, but
late.
everyone dies. So when you do pass away, what do you want your kids to remember about you? What do you want I hate to use the term legacy, but
That they knew me.
that's a good one.
That they knew me, right? And I think not that they knew me actually, because I'm irrelevant. That they felt that I knew them.
That's a fucking good one, man.
Yeah, that they don't, that they know me is nice, but that they knew that I knew them, right? Because we all want to be known. Yeah. We all want, that I knew them.
Dude, that's a good fucking answer.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think
that's pretty fucking deep.
Yeah, I think it's 100% right though, because I don't matter, right?
So the family ranch in Yoakum, Texas, right? What's the plan with that? Is the plan
it's out of my control, my friend? It's my dad,
okay,
my mom,
okay,
and my aunt.
Okay,
I don't have any say. I would love to buy it. My wife would have.
So you don't think they're gonna pass it on to you, or anything like that, or?
Well, hopefully my parents are young, 70, and 68.
Young, yeah. Okay.
So they're gonna be around for a while. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But you can control the things you can control, and the others you don't worry about.
So you have any brothers and sisters?
Four total.
Okay.
So 2 sisters and a brother.
Okay.
And we're all pretty strong relationship. We all.
Are there others down in Texas, or were they?
One is in Colorado with her family. The other is in Utah with her family, and my brother lives in Nashville.
Oh wow! So everyone
playing music.
Everyone said fuck Texas.
And Seattle. I'm the only one who stayed. They all got the seasonal blues.
Yeah.
And moved out. Yeah.
So you go to Texas. Like when I go to Texas, people tell me, "Man, what's it like being up there in enemy territory?"
Yeah, that's funny. I don't talk politics up with a lot of people in the Northwest because you go east of the mountains and it's conservative, and you stay over here and it's liberal. It's funny. Who was it that said it? Someone asked Michael Jordan years ago, "What are you on the left or are you on the right?" And he goes, "Everybody buys sneakers."
Yep. Yeah, I remember that quote. Yeah.
And I think that's true. Like politics, it doesn't fucking matter. Wow. It does in the day to day, but we're all Americans.
Yeah.
Right. We all are trying to live our lives. I agree with some. I disagree with others. Everybody drinks.
Yeah. My thing is this, right? I think I told this when I met you before. Like here in Seattle, I have a lot of liberal friends.
Yeah.
And they say stuff I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, what the you're batshit crazy. I go text my conservative friends, they're talking like, what the fuck you just say? You fucking batshit crazy, right?
Well, our idea of conservative and our idea of liberal is not totally translate to other parts of the country or the world. Yeah.
Yeah, like a Republican in Washington is probably a fucking liberal in fucking Texas.
That's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah. But I do love the fact that I do love talking to people and arguing with people and debating. It's just, in Seattle, it's harder to debate.
Yeah. I remember it was like 2020 election, 2016 maybe, and my 2020 election, right, when Biden won, went to Texas, right, a month for election, and they're like, oh, Trump's going to win, no way they're going to win. And my cousin's husband, like Bubba, he's like, Jason, how about in Seattle? Like they know Biden's going to win, right? All the time, no fucking way.
Yeah.
And
Well, and everyone here was like Kamala, and everyone down there is like, no way. Nobody knows until the votes are cast, and that's way above my pay grade, buddy. Like,
yeah. What's the future of bourbon? You think it's like bourbon is pretty traditional, like Buffalo Trace made 1767. Is anything like bourbon gonna be like more like advanced, or is like bourbon making is like bourbon making?
Yeah, that's when I wrestle with everyone. A lot of people in the industry want to be like, what's the innovation? And I was like, the innovation is that there isn't any innovation. Authenticity and history and legacy are authenticity, history, and legacy, right? You don't want to change. You can't change too much.
Yeah.
People want what they used to get. You can change, like, we have the Amaretto barrel finish, which is a really novel one, the wine barrel, which is kind of unique. But our mainstays are fucking mainstay goddamn bourbon. Yeah. Unflavored, unfinished in any other cask. It's just goddamn bourbon.
Yeah.
And that's what people want, It's funny, I think there's a lot of cyclicality to it. Bourbon was hip in the 50s and 60s, and then everybody in the 60s, 70s and 80s was like vodka, which is unflavored, like it's just alcohol, which is fine. And now we're back to whiskey, and and then now it's tequila is very huge or growing. It'll all come back.
So like with bourbon, I mean, like you said, every year you make a certain amount of bottles every year, right? Barrels every year. So, like example, like Blanton's like real popular right now, right? Mm-hmm. You can never find Blanton's, right?
That fucking pewter cap,
yeah. So how do you how do you in your planning process be like, okay, we made 20,000 barrels this year.
We're nowhere near that, by the way, but sure.
Yeah, but you're like, how do you plan to 5 years out?
You pray and hope.
Because if you make too many barrels, you lose money, right?
Oh, yeah. It's very expensive to lay down whiskey. And that's why we're trying to grow at that 15 to 30% annually. Because I can maintain that and I can do it profitably in perpetuity. But if I needed to grow at 200x this year, that ain't happening.
Because it's not like, you had like 20,000 barrels today.
No.
And they're like, hey, it's so popular. You just can't instantly make 20,000 more barrels, right?
Well, and if you did, you still have to wait 4 years.
Yeah.
4+ years, actually. So there's no get rich quick scheme in the Kaiser plan for 2-bar spirits, right? Like slow and steady, have fun doing it, make a living, and move on.
What's like the most frustrating thing about doing your business?
That's a good question. The day-to-day is why don't, like we battle, every small business battles the knowledge problem, the awareness problem, right? Like there's some big distilleries that, like Woodinville Whiskey is one of the most established bourbon distilleries in Washington State. I meet people on a daily basis who don't know who the fuck they are, right? And I meet a lot of people who have never heard of 2-bar. And I was like, we've been around for 14 years. What do you mean you've never heard about it? And it's, it is what it is. And getting the word out and getting that awareness is so hard because people are busy. They're living their own lives. Why do they care about some little craft distillery located in DeSoto in Seattle, right? That's hard when people are like, they're like, they literally work in the same building as me. No. Who the fuck is 2-bar? I was like, we're fucking neighbors, jackass. No.
All the stuff you do up in there, is there anything that you would want to outsource?
Oh, no.
No.
Accounting.
Accounting.
I do have a bookkeeper and an accountant. But like, I love it all, man. I love the fact that the distillery gets really dusty because we're milling grain. I love the fact that it smells like the ferment and then the distillate. I love the fact that we just make it and how rare that is.
So like how scientific is the bourbon making process?
Not very.
Not very. Okay.
I mean it is.
Yeah.
But it isn't.
But it's not like physics or nothing, right?
No, we're not sending fucking men to the moon.
Okay.
What we do is like, okay, what temperature do we mash it at or cook it at? What temperature do we need to ferment it at? How's the best way to distill it?
So is it like a 24/7 process?
No. Well, I mean,
the machine's already working.
like with the new mash tun, and by new I mean 10 years ago, but it's stainless steel, right? It's never going to go away. That takes, we kick it off at 9, you're done by 2. The distillation, we do 2 runs a day with our new spirit still. So that is done by like 3 or 4, starting at 9. And then you ferment, right, for about a week to 9 days, sometimes longer. And then you age it for 4 years. So that's overnight, but not a lot of hands-on shit.
Okay. Are there any like bourbon companies or bourbon people out there you're like, you know what? Like you're not like I don't want it's not like I don't want to be like them, but like they're like a standard for me to meet in the future, right?
Nope.
Okay.
Maybe like some like Heaven Hill, which is still family owned, but again, that's out of my control.
Yeah.
But they also bought a lot of brands, and they're big. They're big. I mean, nobody thinks about them on the general consumer side. If you're into bourbon, you know of them, but I think just family owned. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
It's kind of what I aspire to, but have no control over.
Yeah. Any plans to try to go to Costco?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
I think we would crush it in Costco. The buyer there, who is very sweet, doesn't agree, but I call her every time.
Do you?
All the time.
Nice.
Yeah. You can. I have no problem getting rejected.
It's me again. Click.
Yeah.
It's me again. Click.
Oh, she doesn't even pick up. She knows the number.
What's your like? So far, what's been like your best outreach program as far as like, is it sales, email, knock on someone's door, talking to the stock boy? I
used to have these beautifully formatted emails with beautiful, amazing photos and flowing, prose about the distillery and our bourbon and the family history and heritage. And nobody read it. And then I wrote an email that said, "Hey, we make bourbon, period. Interested, ? And they would respond.
Yeah.
Because you realize people don't have the time to read a 30-page expose of why you're special.
Yeah. Yeah. Cold email, cold sales, it's such a challenge for everyone, right?
Well, and you don't know what's going to work, and you got to be open to trying it all. So, I wrote the big essay, with, 3x5
Yeah.
printed slides. Not really, but in the email. And then I wrote, "Hey, want bourbon?" ? And that worked. Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
But people are gonna they don't have time to worry about you, so you
No.
have to make it easy for them.
Less is better as far as emails, everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's do you drink bourbon every day?
Yeah.
Do you,
But get it cheap, man.
do you ever like experiment with other bourbons, like test
Oh
test
yeah,
and stuff? Yeah.
of course. I mean, I try to try a lot of different things. I don't have a whiskey library at home because I drink it. I try to drink it in moderation, like one a night.
Yeah.
The doctor's like, "Well, are you doing? What do they say? 2 or 3 a week?" I was like, "Pfft, "You're joking, right?"
Yeah.
But I try to drink all of it and see what I like and don't like. But I keep coming back to 2-bar. Go
Bar.
figure.
Obviously, yeah. So is this true? I've heard like, in order to be a bourbon, you have to be made in Kentucky. Is that a myth?
Obviously not.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not part of the law.
Okay.
That's part.
I always heard that.
That's part of
it's kind
tradition.
of some kind of law, yeah.
You can make bourbon anywhere in the United States as long as it is 50% plus corn, distilled below 160 proof, right, off the still, and barreled at or below 125 proof in a new charred oak barrel. That is bourbon.
Okay.
It can only be made in the United States, nowhere else. You can make corn whiskey anywhere in the world, but bourbon is only made in the U.S. It's like Scotch is a single malt whiskey, which you can make anywhere in the world, but it's only Scotch if it's made in Scotland.
That's the thing. I never got into Scotch. A lot of people love Scotch. I just never got into Scotch.
What is it? Scotchy. I love a good Scotch. You know, I don't drink as much anymore.
I never got into it.
But like a nice peaty Scotch with a nice cigar, that's not so bad. There are worse things in this world, Jason.
Yeah, there is. Is there any like good? We talk about cigar match. Any like food matches for bourbon, like spaghetti or steak or anything?
Yes,
or everything.
Peanut
butter jelly sandwich, eggs, chocolate.
Of course, dude. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I will say I do like instead of a vodka Bloody Mary, a bourbon Bloody Mary is pretty good. Also, one of the things we make for shits and giggles is a moonshine.
Okay.
And that
I saw that bottle, yeah.
That in a Bloody Mary is actually really good. Also, that one in a Moscow Mule, right, with the ginger beer instead of vodka.
Yeah.
For a Moscow Mule is really good. We call it a moonshine mule.
Here's going for you. So I remember the show Dallas back in the day.
Yeah.
So there's
Bobby.
Bobby and JR. So one time JR had done something like crooked, right? And so he went to the sheriff, "Hey, I did this. We need to fix it, right?" And the sheriff like, "Damn it, JR." I come in like early in the morning, 7 in the morning, right? So JR comes at 7 in the morning. And so the sheriff's like, "Good morning. Thanks for coming in. So I can tell you." And JR like, "God damn it, you're early in the morning for this." And the sheriff like, "Want some coffee?" "Yeah, I'll take some coffee." "What do you want in it?"
Bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great show. I was born in Austin, raised in Houston, and then Phoenix and all over. But man, that show was like the bomb.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it maybe as much as at that age, but I loved it. And J.R. Ewing.
Yeah. Have you ever gone to the actual South Fork Ranch?
No.
Dude, it is so fucking small.
Yeah.
It is like the swimming pool is like the size of this room.
Yeah.
The
And
bed was
they made it
small.
look big in the show, though.
It looks so fucking big in the show, right? Looks like a man. It's like a small 3-bedroom, I think 18 200 square foot house.
Funny thing, because that was all about oil.
Yep.
And now the oil in Texas is so much bigger than it ever has been with all the fracking and stuff.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like now you drive down to the ranch and it's just like well. And if you look at it from space, it's almost disconcerting. Or look at it from the satellites, I should say.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Is there anything I should ask you? Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know, man. You've nailed it. You have some really amazing questions. Like left me stumped even. It doesn't happen very often. Well done.
Thanks. So how can people reach out to you?
We're online, 2bar.us or 2barspirits.com. And we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all the socials. But mostly online is best. And if you want to reach us directly, info@2barspirits.com.
Okay. So next question can you get a degree in like bourbon making or distillery or anything like that?
Oh, I'm sure. It's not, I don't think it's,
So what kind
accredited.
what kind of background do people get to be like a bourbon maker?
Anybody can make bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's no like background, no physics degree, no master's degree.
No. There's like, you can get accredited in it, but the best thing to do is just start doing it. If you're trying to get a degree, like, if you're trying to get a degree in beer, you're doing it wrong. Right? You can be a sommelier for wine, and what's the one for beer? I can't remember right now, but there is a thing for beer. But if you want to make beer, or you want to make wine or spirits, or if you want to do anything, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people want to study study it, and that's important. But just go do it. And you can only learn through trial and error.
So let's suppose someone's out there, they want to make bourbon. Like, how do they?
Well, they can't do it illegally at home.
How do they like come to you and say, "Hey, I want to intern with you. I want to like be a craftsman. I want to do whatever,
Yeah, we'll let you see and visit us, but we're not set up for that thing.
Okay.
We've tried it in the past, but we make bourbon even at our size, at scale, and we do it with a small team that cranks.
Okay.
Right, and so when you get people in there,
kind of mess up the process.
They're all like they're always nice. That but we're not set up to be a training facility.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know that my main job was telling people no. Nathan, can you do this? No.
Yeah.
Nathan, can you we don't do contract distilling for people. We don't do shit. We just make fucking bourbon.
I think it's another thing. But if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you got to say no.
Everybody wants us to do everything.
It can't be do this and we make $1 million. No,
no, it won't. No. I'm doing what I want to do. It's like that old axiom where people are like, well, I'll tell you my idea, but I need you to sign an NDA. Fuck you and your goddamn NDA.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
No,
yeah.
if you're gonna do it, then you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna do it and copy you, then you should still crush me because it was your idea.
You might steal my idea. I mean, if I do some idea and I'll execute you, that's on you.
Well, but ideas are a dime a dozen, man. How many people I've talked to that wanted to open distilleries and how many did? How many I talked to that wanted to open a tech startup and actually did? And we all have ideas all day long, but how many actually follow through?
Yeah.
NDAs are worthless.
Yeah.
Just go do it.
So any advice or wisdom on anything you want to talk about?
Enjoy whiskey, drink it with friends and family, and savor every moment of every day.
Nathan, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Jason, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And to our listeners, thank you for your time as well. And remember to be great every day. Okay,